you should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're going to get down to the other stuff here in a second. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, before we do anything else, just vibe.
101 Beats.
You get to wake up to this. What's up, Bratty Beretta? Everything is vibration. You said, where do I live? Because it's 7 a.m. over there. It is actually 7:14 a.m. where I'm at right here too. I live in your fantasies. Just vibe. We're going to take just a few minutes to let a few people trickle in, and then we're going to get down to it. Now, today, we're going to touch on the transits and elaborate on the aspects that might be affecting you. But then after that, we're going to get into the just vibe. Poison Polish Nail Company. Good morning, how you doing? Entertainment Hub, how you doing this morning? It's 7:16 in Narnia. Do you know what your vibe is? What's up, MH? How you doing? Good morning. Why you calling me by my government? Do I know you, like, personally? Before we go into all of that. Just vibe. We're going to touch on the transits and elaborate on the aspects that might be affecting you. But we're going to kick the week off right. Damn, Tina. Beats. Now, before we even go there, I would first of all like to tell you good morning. All right. And if you haven't smiled yet today, this is my personal invitation for you to do so immediately. And if you can't find a smile for yourself, please allow me to be the smile on your face. Because at the end of the day, all I am is the smile on your face. All I am is the motherfucking vibe. The moon is officially in Aries. Everything is
that boy is Benny Honda.
Shout out to Benny Honda and Rock Legion. MH. I just wanted to know who you were calling me that. So since you calling me by my government, just announce what your name is. Who are you? Because people here in this space don't call me that. So you either know me from another space or you know me personally. I don't know you, Mary. I don't know how you know my name. The hat does not say Rodrigo. It's fine. It'll be all right. See, with the moon in Aries, you don't know how easy it is to say fuck you. You don't know how easy it is to say, you got me fucked up. Huh? See, Mars is now at 29 degrees of Cancer. So, with the moon in Aries, with the sun in Capricorn, with Mars at 29 degrees of Cancer, best believe it is personal. I take my business personally. Shout out to my bro, Beats by Bless Zone Now Music. Shout out to my bro, The Water Bearer. Shout out to Tina Clara Marie. Shout out to Brady Beretta 369. Yeah, Poison Polish Nail Company. We in this thing. It's all gravy, Merrick. I love you. I'm trying to make sure you ain't them peoples. Young God. Gustavo. Only thing I'm gonna spit is knowledge. Absolutely not. I'm a conductor. I'm a visionary. I'm an astrologer, a numerologist, a mystic. I'm an OG. I'm a father. I'm a leader. I'm a learner. But I don't know about rap. Not anymore. See, this is priceless knowledge of self. Hit the motherfucking like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell icon to notify when we come back again. You hear me? It's about that time for you to open up your ear and let me crawl into your mind. Now, a lot of y'all have heard this before, but as this next vibe comes on, I need to let you know. Should you ever be somewhere up here in the mountains, hiking on a trail, and you encounter me being attacked by a bear, you better help the bear. That's what the fuck you better do. Help the motherfucking bird. Cause that some bitch is in trouble fucking with me. Just fine. Everything is vibration. And with the sun in Capricorn, the moon in Aries, Mercury in Sagittarius, Mars at Cancer. This the type of vibe we on. This the type of time we on. You hear me? MH. But you strong though. We about to talk about what's going on astrologically. But first, hey, y'all remember just last year I thought I was dying. I had convinced myself I was about to check out. Now look at me now. Stronger than ever. More knowledgeable than ever. You just gotta grind it out. Yeah. Chest just. Now, one thing I ain't gonna do is waste your motherfucking time. Never. Vibe. It's been a minute. It's Monday morning. These motherfucking kids finna go back to school. On your mind, it ain't nothing to it but to do it. Knowledge that comes naturally. So the vibe comes first. Yeah. Hey, make sure y'all go join the tribal council, the membership here. They number like $5 a month. But not only only is that showing support to the movement, but it also is allowing us to be able to do exclusive stuff for members only. So there's perks that come along with it. You do get discounts to all of my services. So go fuck with me on that. Plus, as soon as we have enough people, I will be dropping members only content. Y'all see, I do everything I always say I'm gonna do. This is a Mars and Capricorn coming at you for real. I said we was gonna work more, we was gonna drop videos, we into this shit. You hear me? Do what I do. And nobody does it better and nobody goes far. There should be a join button somewhere when you go to my channel. Who you about talking about? Beats? How you doing? I'm a Venus in Leo too, obviously. It's a beautiful vibe, man. I can feel you, Mary. Oh, now I remember who you are, Mary. Now I remember. You've been in. We emailed each other. We communicated. Okay. Okay. Hey, get on this Aries moon energy. And that Capricorn sun, you see. This is not idle energy. I'm enraged that you tried me like this. Just fine. Yeah, we vibing this morning. That bit right there got some. Yeah. Just vibe. We're gonna get to the knowledge, like I said. But the vibe comes first. You need to feel this, and then you'll be able to feel me. The sun is in Capricorn, the moon is in Aries, Mercury is in Sagittarius, Venus is in Pisces, Mars is in Cancer. I got Venus conjunct my moon, trying my sun, trying my Pluto, so excuse me if I'm feeling myself. got Pluto opposing my Mercury. My Mercury is 0 degrees Leo. So I got Mars on my Mercury and Pluto opposing my Mercury, and then them opposing each other. So we'll be all right. I just had some good stuff going on finally for once. It's been a long time. It's going on and on and on, nigga.
Hood with another one.
Shout out to Hood with another one. Cause this is another one. Vibe. They have the purest form. I got Mercury 0 degrees of Leo in my 10th house. So it's for everybody to see. Matter of fact, it's for everybody to hear. I got Pluto in my first. Can you see it? I forgot to mention I'm a morning person. A lot of times y'all catch me in the afternoons because I done already settled in. I done worked out and did a whole bunch of shit. But I'm on a different workout schedule. And so every other week I'll come early like this. Hey, this reminds me of a Mo3 vibe. Shout out to Mo3, man. R.I.P. But when you talk about Mo3, and even when you talk about Aries moon, sometimes you gotta be careful because that can't put you in that mix. Sometimes you get what you was asking for. I remember I was watching an interview with Mo3 with Vlad, and Mo3 said, "Man, fuck these niggas. These niggas ain't gonna never have me running down the street, running from my life ever. I stand on it." And sometimes you need to just shut the fuck up. Because guess what happened when he went out? They had him running down the highway, running for his life, scared, and gunned him down in front of everybody on the motherfucking highway. Made him get out of his car and run. Tupac was an amazing artist. That's that Gemini sun. He, as an actor, as a poet, as a musician, he was unparalleled. But that Aries moon was so fucking impulsive, he couldn't keep his motherfucking hands to himself. And he's that type. When they say, "Oh, nigga like that," he's like that. Yes, he's not a gangster, like a gang member, as some people perceive. No, he's an activist. But you gotta be like that. That's how his mama was. His mama is a Tupac Shakur. That's where that Aries moon came from. My mama is a motherfucking soldier. My mama is a motherfucking gangster. This shit is in me, not on me, motherfucker. So as soon as he saw something to be an issue, that nigga put his hands on somebody. Now that can also be a problem. I'm trying to teach you something, man. When you in that Aries moon energy, those emotions sit right there on the surface. It's hard to control it. You hear me? Because that shit is impulsive. It's reactive. It's immediately responsive how you feel. You hear me? There's no delay. It's not passive aggressive. It's aggressive aggressive. It's assertion. Now, the beautiful thing is it's not always violent. Sometimes it's amazing when somebody shows you exactly how you feel to them. Motherfucker, I love you. I'll die for you. I'll fight for you. I'll kill for you. This is what the fuck it is. See, that's the thing when you're dealing with that Aries moon energy too. You hear me? I'm down for whatever. You hear me? See, that's what happened with Pac. Pac ain't no gangbanger. He saw a crypto wearing a chain that belonged to his death row people. These are Bloods. And so Pac ran up and put his hands on Orlando Anderson. And see, for the people that know in the streets, they know this is not somebody who's just going to let you put your hands on them and let that shit ride. It's not about who hard, who isn't hard. This is just the code how it goes. This is LA at the time in the 90s. And then now they're in Vegas. So this is on the grand stage, motherfucker. Think you finna play with me in Vegas? And so for all the conspiracy theories, Pac actually played into the conspiracy theories. Yes, Puffy had money on his head. This is true. Yes, there was all of this shit going on. But if he'd have kept his hands to himself, that shit wouldn't have happened like that. It wasn't that Puffy had money on Tupac's head. He had money on death row. You hear me? And so when you see this dude, Tupac gets juiced up because being a Gemini, energy is very important. His environment is very important. He's at a Mike Tyson fight. Mike Tyson just beat a dude up, made a dude fold up. He fought Bruce Seldon that night. When Mike Tyson fought Bruce Seldon that night, a lot of people don't know, Bruce Seldon got so scared that he basically quit. Mike Tyson hit him one time, and then Bruce Seldon acted like he was knocked out. And he's told this story later on. Is Mike, hit him one time, and then after that, Bruce said, oh, hell. And then later on, it came out that Don King actually paid him to take a fall because they were trying to set up a big payday between Mike and Evander Holyfield, which Mike ended up losing and biting him. So you got to do some history. This is what happened that night. Tupac and Mike are very close. They were in the same prison, and they wrote each other. Tupac idolized Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson, he kind of looked at Tupac as a wild card. Mike Tyson is a Cancer. He's a Sagittarius moon, and he's Mike Tyson. But if Mike Tyson looks at you like a wild card, that means you probably got some issues. Mike Tyson told a story. He said, one night I was at a club. I was having an event at a club, and they called me and said, hey, Mike, there's this dude acting crazy at the door. He's trying to fight all the security. And so Mike's thinking, I'm about to have to go knock this big-ass motherfucker out. And he said he ran out there, and when he ran out there, it was 5'7" Tupac. 5'6", 5'7" Tupac standing up to 7-foot guards in there trying to fight and kill everybody. He said, and when I looked at him, he was so mad, he was so angry, but he was fucking fearless. He said, I looked in his eyes and he didn't give a fuck. He said, I've never seen something like that. Mike Tyson said, I looked in that dude's eyes. He was like, I didn't know him at that time. He said, but when I looked in his eyes, that dude didn't give a fuck. I've never seen anybody that was like that. And he was like, he would take on everybody there, and he didn't give a fuck. And he was standing on that. And he was like, so I had to go over there and like, hey, no. And, you know, he said once I talked to him, I realized this guy's just a kid. A lot of people didn't realize that. This is Gemini and Aries energy. This is very young and immature energy. I'm trying to teach y'all something. You hear me? It can be very immature. Tupac is he can have an old soul but still be immature in his earthly maturity. I'm an old soul myself, but there was times where I was a fucking dumbass for most of my life. You hear me? Like, you still, just because you have something on your soul doesn't mean that you carry it with you as far as experience. You still have to come here to learn the lessons you have to do, and you have to go through the whole process of whatever you have going on spiritually. All right? But anyway, back to the story. Mike told us how he just felt that way. And if y'all ever want to hear these stories, go to ESPN or ESPN Plus, or you can just Google it on YouTube if they have it. And there's an ESPN documentary called One Night in Vegas. And it's talking about the night that Tupac was shot. Not that, you know, people say the night he was killed, but he actually died 6 days later. So the night that Tupac was shot on September 6th into the morning of September 7th, 1996. About to be 30 years. But yeah, you have to understand, Tupac wasn't even 25 years old. When he got shot, he had just turned 25, as a matter of fact. Pardon me. He turned 25 in June. Dude was 25 years old. And you have to think about all of us who now, I might have thought something when I was 25, but me being 38 now, I could fucking slap the fuck out of my 25-year-old self a million times for everything it did. And at 25, I was way better than I was at 20 and 18. And so me thinking about it like that, like, man, like, the fact that I actually have morals and principles that I've established through experience now, it changes everything. Tupac had a lot of lessons to learn. He had to learn not to put his hands on people. There's stuff that he had to grow up and learn. He had to learn that, hey, I can't have all my homies around these females that I fuck with because they fuck with me. And then I have to be careful. And just like he said in his trial, you know, I have to be careful what I just allow to happen, because you are guilty by allowance. And so that was a mature moment, but it was from a hard lesson learned. When you're getting accused of rape and sodomy and you didn't do anything, the woman openly admitted that she had consensual relations with you. The problem is you didn't know how to just say, hey, y'all, she just for me, or hey, man, it ain't going down like this. Instead, it turned into something that was fucking horrible and horrific because you got up and turned your back to it, which is a crime in and of itself. But that's another story. Anyway, on this night in question, Tupac ran up on Orlando Anderson and put his hands on him. And so ultimately everybody's in Vegas at this time. So, hey, okay, now this is personal. So let me go ahead and make this phone call, because these are Mob Pyrus. We're Southside Crip. So what we're going to do is make that call and say, hey, man, we want to collect that bounty now. Somebody, we ain't got no straps, but if somebody can provide us with some heat, we'll collect that bounty now. This motherfucker done put his hands on my nephew. This is Keefe D, who has openly told this story. He done put his hands on my nephew. Or Baby Lane, at first just wanted to catch a fade, but then after that, after it settled in, it's like, nah, we just go ahead and eliminate this motherfucker out the equation. And so, more or less, they riding around looking for him. They go to the club looking for him. They actually pulled up to Club 662 in Las Vegas, trying to wait outside to catch Tupac and Suge and all of them in this situation that was going on. Because at first, they just wanted to catch a fade. Hey, we just going to jump out. The two OGs going to set to the side. We're going to let them fight. But as the night wore on and the money became involved in Las Vegas, it turned into a different energy. Things turned more sinister. And so ultimately, what ended up happening is they were riding around looking for him, hadn't seen him in hours, and then boom, they hear some girls screaming, Tupac, Tupac, Tupac. And it's Tupac and Suge. They just see him, and it's like, okay, now we can roll up on him and go ahead and do the thing. And so this is what happened. And for the people that don't know, people say, well, Tupac, you know, he's not still alive. Basically, his mom, he had been shot in the lung. He lost fingers. He lost tissue in his neck. He wasn't going to be able to speak again or rap again. He was not going to be the same. He might have been, you know, paralyzed. He definitely was going to be dismembered and disfigured. He lost, you know, like I said, he lost fingers and off of his hand. He lost, you know, he'd been shot 5 times, but he'd been shot in the lung. He was going to lose one of his lungs or a lot of lung tissue. He was in very bad condition, and his kidneys were damaged, and he flatlined a few times. And contrary to what people say, some people say he was conscious, but they said he never could speak again. You know, he never could talk after the first happened. So he might have had his eyes opened for moments in time there in the hospital, but that's also not likely. Once he went in there initially and had that surgery, he would have been in a medically induced coma for his body to heal. And so when you think about these things, a lot of stuff gets made up as far as myths and folklore. But when you look at hardcore facts, him going to the hospital and being shot those times, losing that lung tissue, having the surgeries that he would have had immediately when he went in there, he would not have been able to communicate, or he would not have been conscious for those days thereafter that. He would have been in a medically induced coma for his body to be able to heal in those instances. And eventually they probably would bring him out of it after about a week or so. He was there. He did all these surgeries. He flatlined a few times, and it just got to the point where Afeni, which I don't agree with it, but it's not mine. It's not my choice to make. It's her son. Said that she just told him, hey, I don't want y'all to touch him anymore. No more surgeries. Just turn. If he's gonna live, he's gonna live. If he's not, he's gonna die. And so she turned it off. She turned it off and pulled the plug on him. And that's what happened. I mean, these stories are openly out there. None of you. If you knew anything about anything and you just did a little research, this is what his mother herself said. This is all on a documentary. This is what Mike Tyson himself said. This is what Suge Knight himself has said. This is what Tupac's friends have said. Is not this all of the? This is what Keefe D himself has admitted. So this is not folklore. We get caught up in folklore a lot of times, but if you do enough research, in that case specifically, you see. Now with Biggie, and we're not going to get into that, but with Biggie, it's a lot more complicated. What happened and what exactly happened and who did it? Because there's people that say it was Poochie, this blood dude, and this dude, and then other people say it was Diddy set something up. Diddy's own bodyguard said Diddy had something to do with it. The way that we see Diddy now, that also can make you definitely question those type of things. And so who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that's how it goes. Sterling Smith, did you ever put your head in your toilet and flush it 3 times? And then walk around smelling under your nose like this? Now, are y'all ready to talk about what's going on cosmically, man? Let me get some vibes on. Hold up, y'all. Hey, man, we good. I love you, though. I promise. Let me put these vibes on, man, and then we'll get started. Hold up. Hey, we with the shits. I'm always gonna respond. So if y'all come and talking that shit, if the moderators don't get you first and put you the fuck out, best believe if I get a chance, I'm gonna fire your funky ass up, and you're gonna see that there are people sitting here listening to me for hours for a reason. So if not, just find you somebody to play with. Cause let me put you back up on game one time. There's nothing in the background, but if there was a bandana, it would be that. But this is about astrology and self-knowledge and love and vibration. I don't give a fuck about that shit no more, family. You hear me? I'm finna put y'all up on what's going on energetically. So before we get into all of that, I was speaking about Tupac being an Aries moon and the things that come from that. Now, other than that, I'm a grown ass man. I just spent almost half my life in the penitentiary, brother. None of that shit don't fucking excite me or motherfucking make me anymore. You know what I'm saying? It'll always be a part of who I am, but I'm on a whole different path. All right? So that's how it goes. Let me help you out, though. Now, somebody needs to smile right now. If not, let me pump some motherfucking positivity into you. Yeah. Oh, for the people that get readings from me, I actually tell them all the time, Merrick. That's the worst thing that happens to some people, but me ending up in prison was the best thing that ever happened to me. I was like a caterpillar going into my cocoon. When I came out, I was something completely different. You understand? I had to grow the fuck up. I had to figure out who the fuck I really was for real. You understand? And it sucks that I had to go through that, but some people need those type of experiences. Now, if you want to tie it to something astrologically, a lot of Pisces moons spend some type of time in their life either incapacitated or incarcerated. So they end up in some type of institution or incarceration. You know what I'm saying? This is something that actually comes with those placements at certain times, with 12th house placements and Pisces placements. And so it's just a part of my journey. It's just a part of my journey, man. And it's one of the most important parts. I wouldn't be as fine as I am now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was 21 when I went into prison, and I weighed 140 pounds soaking wet. I was skin and bones. You hear me? I'm just gonna keep it all the way real. And so when I got out, 6 years later, I was like 220, solid muscle, and I just came into my own. And so, I'm the type of person that was never gonna let that go off because I didn't do it lifting weights. I did it doing push-ups and things like that. So doing body weight exercises, that's what actually makes you get sustainable muscle. A lot of people don't know that. Lifting weights is fine, but when you stop lifting weights, you lose that muscle very quickly. Those muscles actually end up atrophying. Now, when you do body weight exercises and you're doing something that just consists of you pushing your own body weight, like pull-ups and chin-ups and push-ups and dips, you're actually forming things with their natural body weight. And so that is something that's going to be sustainable on you. There's also only so far you can go with that, but also it can really get you into a stature instead of getting you in shape. It builds stature instead of putting you in shape. So that's a little bit of knowledge for y'all on the physical tip too. If you're really trying to put sustainable muscle on you, lifting weights is cool if you're trying to bulk up and you're going to do also body weight exercises that can help you push that and keep that. But if you're just somebody who's simply doing something lifting weights, as soon as you stop lifting weights, you're going to get fat or you're going to lose that mass because the muscles atrophy very fast if you're not doing those same type of exercises. Now, when you do body weight exercises consistently and you ramp it up and then you switch it up and you trick your body into thinking it's doing different things, then that gives you the chance. That's why I have the chest that I have. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of how it goes with that. But yeah, going through what I went through in prison, it was a mental, physical, everything that went on with that, man. You know, before I went in, I really didn't have any morals or principles that I stood on. I was a gangbanger and a trifling ass dude, and I treated the women in my life all types of ways, and I really wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of potential. I had a record deal, and I had a lot of people that paid attention to me, and of course I was knowledgeable and clever and all of the things that I was, but I was also manipulative and immature. I was insecure. I used my mother's death as an excuse for everything in my life. I blamed everything and everybody for everything that was going on. I wasn't accountable. I was a thief. Uh, I was all of those things. And so when you get to prison, contrary to what your belief is, when you get to prison, first of all, being a thief ain't cool. Even if that's what got you in there, you're gonna learn real fast. If you're dealing with anybody that's mature, they're gonna let you know stealing ain't shit. You didn't take, you know, that's not taken. When you're stealing, especially from your friends and the people from your hood and your family and shit, motherfuckers like that, motherfuckers tell you right off the rip, that's some weak ass shit. You a weak ass motherfucker. So that being something that was dishonorable right off the rip. And I actually went to prison for a jewelry heist. I stole $100,000 from a jewelry store, and that was cool. But so that changed the perception of it. But other than that, they still like, man, hell nah, like that ain't honorable as a man. And so you start to see, and you start to carry yourself in a certain way. And in there, you have to stand on something. You can't just bump your gums. You can't have emotional outbursts. You'll get killed. Even if you are a Cancer, even if you have all that water astrologically, going into those situations, you can't do that. You can't react emotionally to everything. You're gonna be crying all the fucking time. You're gonna get your ass whooped. You're liable to get killed. You're liable to stay locked up. You have to build some type of character. You understand? And so, really, with that, it's just like you have to really be about that in there. And if you're not, you'll get exposed real fast. It doesn't mean that all prisons are violent places. And I was in prison in Texas for 6 years, and on a unit called Burn in Hell. And this is probably one of the worst units in Texas. It's called Clemens Unit in Brazoria County, Texas. Red Brick Unit. This prison had been open since 1905. Pick cotton with my bare hands for 3 years, like a slave. You understand? You do this type of shit. Fucking cooking for 6,000 people and shit like that. Like, real fucking bullshit. But you in that shit, and you learn to be some type of person. If you're really that person that has goodness inside of you, you really start to see. And then you also start to recognize that some of the best men in the world are in there. They were just selling drugs. Some of the best men in the world are in there. They just reacted in a situation emotionally, and now they had to learn from that. Some of them were young when they were in there, and they've had to grow up in there and develop morals and principles. You see how that goes? And so there's some of the worst people, but there's also some of the best people, because they've evolved. And so if you are that type of thing, the law of attraction comes into play. You get attracted to those type of situations. And when you say prison is mundane, it depends on what age you are. If you're in your 30s, in 40s, it's gonna be mundane. If you're in your 20s, that shit's gonna be like a fucking big ass locker room, a big fucking playful ass locker room. That's what they're doing in there. You really want to know? Like, they're working and shit, but they're also playing fucking all the fucking time. There's politics at play. It's very racial. Like, it doesn't matter if me and you, whatever you believe, if I'm black and you're Mexican and we've been hanging out our whole lives and we grew up next door to each other and our families know each other, and once you get into prison, you can't be like that. You just can't. Black and Mexicans can't eat out of the same bowl. They can be cool unless there's a political issue, and then you can't be. You can't eat out of the same bowl. It doesn't matter if you know each other. You can't be sharing stuff with them. You can't do any of that stuff. It's very racial. You hear me? It's like when you're young, it's just like a big ass fucking locker room a little bit, like. But there's all types of stuff that goes on with that, and it's messy. But there's also money. Once you get to a certain point, there's also money being made, and there's principles and because there's politics. There's also policies at play that you cannot violate. That you have to walk by a certain code of conduct, not only for the prison's code of conduct, but also amongst the inmates. So you have to be a certain type of way. Like, for instance, if me and the water bearer have an altercation and have a disagreement, we can talk about things and have a disagreement. We can even talk shit to each other. But if we raise our voice at each other, we have to fight physically. They're gonna make you, and you're like, can't nobody make you? Yes, they can. You don't understand the pressure. You be like, no, yeah, you kind of have to, because that's the only way that's gonna alleviate the tension in there, and it's the only thing that's gonna make other people stop disrespecting you is if y'all fight each other. Even if y'all just fight and it becomes something that it's so stupid and immature when you get older, you'll be like, all right, I'm not even gonna do any of that. So you also means you're not gonna be arguing with people. You understand? Just understand that that's a maturity thing. You're like, I'm not gonna be doing all that fighting. Once you get to a certain point, you say, hey man, I'm not gonna be fighting every fucking day. I'm not gonna be fighting. You get mature, you want to go home, and so guess what that means? That means you're not gonna be playing those type of games with people. That means you're not gonna be fucking arguing with people. That means you're gonna stay to yourself and go learn something and not get caught up in all that bullshit, because you know that's what comes along with it. Because if you get involved, you get in the mix, that's what happens. And so that's how it goes with that. Michael St. John said, can you just not talk to anybody? Yes, but people are going to come up and talk to you. They're going to want to know stuff about you. And it's just like, in those situations, the shit gets crazy. But what I mean is, like, when you think it's really violent, it can be, but it's usually not. Those violent times are violent. It happens in the summertime and shit like that, when it gets violent. But most of the time there's money stuff going on. People don't want you fucking up their money. It's not that. And these days it's a different prison. When I was locked up, this was over a decade ago. You know what I'm saying? And so, or longer than that. It's almost 20 years ago now. Not like it's 15 years ago. So it's a completely different time now. But there's stuff that, and it's actually getting more violent because this generation that's coming up now is more violent. Social media and the things they're actually more violent. It was violent, and then it got less violent, and then it gets more violent again. Yeah, but even if you stay on, it's not that they're gonna try you, bro. Devin, they can, but it's not that they're gonna try you necessarily. Not everybody gets tried. Like, I never got tried. I got into fights because I tripped out emotionally. I got into fights over the Dallas Cowboys. I got into fights because I'm emotional about that shit. I got into fights, and you know how Dallas Cowboys fans are. As much as they trash and they're fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's the perfect Pisces moon delusion. But I would get into shit about the Dallas Cowboys. I would get into shit, just you know, get into little emotional shit when I was first in there, when I was younger. Mostly about sports, though. But other than that, I'm minding my own business. I read books, and I was a speaker for everything we had going on. And so, the shit, but I didn't get tried. I got into fights, but it was because of my emotions, because I was tripping. Or there's ways to not get into that shit. Nobody really play with you like that, man. Like, I carry myself a certain way. And I mean, light skin or not, I carry myself a certain way. You understand? Like, I just carry myself a certain way. Like, it's just like that. You know what I'm saying? I have Mars and Capricorn too. It doesn't mean I'm fighting and whooping everybody, because I got my ass whooped a lot of times. Not in there, but in life. I got whooped in there before, but in life. But that shit don't matter. You start to learn, and people realize about you that you're not that type. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean you're a bitch, but you're just not that type of person to try like that. You're not the type of person that's playing like that. You're not the type of person that's even on that type of time. And so people respect you like that. People didn't look at me like that. Like, I was a player. The guards messed with me as far as the women. And I stayed to myself, and I read, and I was smart, and I learned a lot of stuff. And so people came to me for help with knowledge. People came with me to come chill. People came to me if they want me to write a letter to a girl for them. That type of shit. Like, that's what they do. Like, hey, bro, write a letter to, I got this girl. Hey, will you write a letter for me? I'll tell you kind of what I want to say, but you know what I'm saying? Exactly, Water Bear. But yeah, I just mind my business. Once I get into sports and gambling, once you get into those mixes, that's when you get into shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean. But once you realize that that's what's getting you into shit, you kind of stop indulging in that. You're like, all right, I can't be gambling and shit. I can't be doing that shit because, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I also would be smoking and shit. And that would piss people off because you're not supposed to be smoking. And so me smoking cigarettes all the time, I would have the block hot. I would have the cell hot. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, thank God. But I would have the whole fucking little section hot because I was smoking cigarettes, and the guards can smell it, so they'll come in here shaking people down, trying to take down their shit. Shout out to Isla, but they try to take people's shit. But yeah, I don't know how we got all on that, but yeah, because somebody talked about being locked up or that being your journey. Yeah, that part of my journey was pivotal, y'all. So let's talk about what's going on astrologically. We just vibing anyway, though. I need somebody to smile right now. I need y'all to hit that motherfucking super sticker, the super thanks, the super chat if you really fuck with me. I need you to join the membership. You hear me? Find a membership badge, join the membership. Be a part of the tribal council. We're trying to grow that. That would be much appreciated. But yeah, just the whole situation. Just to finish the story, I did all of that. I matured so much. I grew so much in that process. So it just got to a point where you went through this whole process. Now, another one of my problems is I was affiliated. You know what I'm saying? And so being young and stupid and being involved with those affiliations, that also meant that sometimes there was things that were out of your control that you had to deal with because of politics, gang politics. And so with me being involved in that stupid shit in that point in time in my life and being affiliated, I mean, you'll always be affiliated if you're affiliated. So I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm saying that that's not important to me because I'm here to help people. I want people to grow and learn through self-knowledge. I want people to help their spirituality really blossom. So all of that other shit, you know, that'll always be a part of who I am, but that's not what I'm about. You get what I'm saying? And so at that point in time, that was what I was about. And so when you are having to be about that, you have to be about that. You can't be like you can't be a gangbanger in the streets like so many people are, and then you go in there and you're not. They're gonna find out that you are repping something in the streets, and so there's gonna be that. There's people that try to do that. My friend Jock did that, and it turned out really bad for him. He's like my cousin. I'm very close to him still, but he was a gangbanger in the streets. He was a crip in the streets. And so when we got locked up, he comes up to me like, hey, cuz, I'm not doing that shit in here. He tells me, hey, I'm not doing that shit in here. Like, I'm trying to stay out of that. And that's fine, and I'm not going to tell it, but people found out because people see him from other units. And when you see people that come through, they're like, hey, what's up, cuz? And they be like, damn. So you hear like, damn, you was banging in the streets, but you're not banging in here. What you scared of? And so that's when people start messing with you. Just little stupid shit like that. Or you getting involved in shit and you're doing little, you know what I'm saying, sneaky shit that's gonna get everybody in trouble or keep everybody hot, like I did. So they'll come tripping with me, like, bro, you smoking cigarettes all the time. They coming in here fucking with us. We got money in here. They're taking our stuff. Like, you need to stop. You need to find somewhere else to smoke, or you need to do that shit when you on the rec yard. And I'm more or less be like, man, fuck y'all. I'm grown. This is my shit. They coming to shake down me. They not fucking with you, so mind your business. But it would just be stupid shit like that to where it just like little tension starts to build up. And then there comes to a point where it's like, all right, man, this is what has to happen because this tension has built up in here. And so it's like, and then when people talk about the gay stuff, that was a lot earlier, like in the earlier, you know, you'll see gay people. Like I had an encounter with it, but you don't see like the raping and shit like that. That's not something that happens as prevalent anymore as it did in the early 80s and the 70s and things like that, because they actually have what they call PRIA, the Prison Rape Elimination Act. And so you can jump on the phone in there and act like you're calling your family, and you can just, it'll pick up and you press 0 and it'll call into fucking OIG, which is like the internal investigation, to be like, hey man, this motherfucker's in here trying to fuck me. And then they'll come in there and fucking attack everybody in there. So you can't really do that in there. And so what you actually have and what you see is people that like grooming. When they say like you're grooming, like with fucking pedophiles, the way that they do, that's what happens is motherfuckers start grooming you. They start to see something in you that they might feel like is turnable, or they might, you know, what they would say is like something weak in you. But I don't think that, because there's people that I love that are gay. So I'm not saying someone being homosexual is a weakness. I'm saying this is the mentality that's established in those institutions. And so basically you'll have somebody who's predatory, and when they're predatory, they'll start to look at things a certain way, right? And then they'll start to look at a person like, okay, this motherfucker right here, you know what I'm saying? I could eventually like basically turn him, but basically like turn him out. That's what the motherfucker gonna do, is they're gonna start hanging out with you. Might be an old school motherfucker that's been locked up. You don't got no money on your books. That's why they say that old stupid shit. somebody puts a Snicker on you, give it back to them, because if you take it, then you owe them. And it's like that, but it's not. It's more or less like they try to befriend you, giving you stuff, and now y'all eat together, and now y'all walk together, and y'all talk together, and y'all just, and so one day y'all are just sitting in there, and this motherfucker done pulled his dick out on you. Like, that's the type of shit that happens. Like, hey, since we've been so close, why don't you just, and then now you in there, and it's like, man, like, why you do that? And then y'all get into it. And if y'all get into it and this motherfucker physically handles you, then it's one of those situations where that shit gets inappropriate. You get what I'm saying? But before, it's not just like, oh, somebody's just gonna see you and be like, oh, you're fresh meat, I'm gonna come fuck you. You know, it's more or less like you got involved with trying to be too friendly with somebody, and that motherfucker done turned your ass out. And a lot of people get turned out because they have that in them, and so they get in there and they get involved with somebody. Next thing you know, or you'll have somebody that goes in there and they start playing this game, and it's called being in the car with somebody. They start playing the gay game, basically. And so you'll be young guys, and y'all be playing each other, and y'all just be playing, right? And y'all be, oh, that's my bitch right there. That's my hoe. That's how a lot of dudes play in there. They play the gay game. It's called, but we call it being in the car. And so he's be like, oh, there go my girl right there. And they just be playing. It's two supposedly straight dudes, and so everybody, they're playing like, oh, and they'll go up and slap each other on the ass and just be playing that locker room shit, right? But in there, people are seeing y'all play this, and they starting to think, man, these motherfuckers might be some freaks for real. You know what I'm saying? That's what they said. The motherfuckers that's really watching out, like, oh, these motherfuckers might be some freaks for real. They really, and what's happening is they're playing this game where they're just pushing the envelope. They'll keep slapping ass and playing, and eventually one will tap out. This is what happens. One will get mad or they'll tap out. That's why it's a tap out game. It's a submission game. The gay game is. And so they play, and they'll push the envelope, dude getting gayer and gayer and gayer, until one of them's like, hey, bro, I ain't with that shit. Like, nigga, you got me fucked up. And so they'll start fighting. But people start to perceive that. And then sometimes that shit is just a door to open up for them to really be like that and start fucking around with each other on the cool and playing that little shit. So you never know how that turns out, whatever happens with that. And that's why when a lot of times a dude will try to play with you, and before you even get mad, you just say, hey, bro, I'm not getting in that car with you. Don't even joke with me like that. And that's not being disrespectful. That's putting a boundary up. Because that's what somebody's going to try to play with you like that in there. I guarantee you. They'll say some lot of slick little gay shit to you, and you'll have to say, hey, bro, don't even, I don't even play like that. And then that's the end of that. I don't even play like that. We're not getting in the car. I'm not getting in the car with you. That's what you tell them. I'm not getting in the car with you. Like, don't play with me like that. And so that's just, you put that boundary up. But female prison and jail is a lot more homosexual in its nature. And then as far as on our unit, what's up, Jaden? As far as on our unit, if you are flamboyantly homosexual, or you have any type of hormones you're taking, or you're going through a transition, like, or if you have any type of alteration done to your body, you're going to be put in a special unit anyway, because them niggas in there be going crazy. like for real. And so it's just, the whole environment is crazy, but it's not like what it is on TV per se. It's a lot more complex. It depends on perspective. Like, from my perspective, I appreciate the love. I didn't have a bad time. I had fights, like I said, and I had 2 of them that I lost. But because of my nature, I didn't have a horrible time in prison. So for me, it was learning. It was the realizing I wasn't free, being away from my family, but it was a learning experience. It was growing up. It was learning to who I really was, and figuring out, hey, okay, so I am a man for real. I am really like that. Like, because I never knew. In the streets, you could get away with anything because you have guns and you have this, but in there, you have to stand on your own sometimes. And so with me being an emotional person, I got into altercations to where it was like, okay, I will. You know what I'm saying? I am somebody that has that in me. And even with being a Libra rising, sometimes it might take you realizing that you're really that person. And when you have Cancer and Pisces placements, like for me, a lot of the times when I was younger, I projected uber masculinity because I actually had a very caring nature, and I was actually in its way. Not when you say feminine, not that doesn't mean female or anything like that. When we say feminine, we're talking about energetically. It means more receptive. But having all of those water placements, it does make you more emotional than some people and more sensitive than some people. And so what I had was this super big bravado with my Leo placements, like don't try me, don't play with me, don't, because really I was very sensitive and I did take everything personally and I was very emotional. And so that was the way for me to get that off of it. And so going through the whole process in the penitentiary, it was more or less like I learned I just learned that I stood on business. Like that Mars in Capricorn is real. Like, and that doesn't mean I was fighting all the time, because I might have 4 fights in 6 years. It means that I'm the type of person, like I stand on what I am, wherever I am, I stand on my word. I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. If you try me, I'm gonna respond. There's nothing that you can make me do. There's nothing that you can do to break me. And so that was just something that you have to learn about yourself. What's up, Ty Benz? My boy. I thought you fell off on me, Ty. For real, bro. Because you was like acting like you couldn't download that reading. I was like, man, my nigga can't get his reading or whatever he's doing. Like, man. But what's up? Hey, y'all say what's up to my bro, Ty Benz. Ty Benz been with me since the beginning, man. So shout out to Ty. Now, Dark Star, you said, can I tell you more about Lucifer in the first house? No, because I don't follow Lucifer astrologically. You've been waiting on my hook. What you mean? Oh, want me to put the book out? That nigga said hook. But yeah, hey y'all, that's the whole journey on that. And then you just go through a whole maturation process. Like, I got to a point where I didn't want to do that shit. I got to a point to where I didn't like them always trying to heart check me. A heart check is basically a fight, but kind of, it's just like you gotta fight 2 dudes. I'm like that's a small thing. You have to fight 2 dudes. Like, when you get to a new unit or a new part of the unit, sometimes they like want to do a quota check, which is what the Mexicans would say, or a heart check, which is basically they want to see if you'll fight. And so I just got to a point where I would get mad, and once I was like been in there for like 2.5 or 3 years, I went and told them like, hey, as soon as I got over there, I say, look, man, I'm trying to go home. I'm gonna tell y'all just straight up like this. If y'all think y'all got to fight me to be cool with me, then fuck y'all. I'll fight all of y'all. Whoever want to fight. But after that, don't fuck with me. See, that shit didn't make sense to me. That's the stupid prison mentality. You gotta put your hands on me in order for us to be friends. We gotta fight each other for us to be friends. Like, motherfucker, hell no. If you gotta put your hands on me for us to be cool, okay, I'm gonna defend myself, but after that, we not cool. So let's put it like that. So if we gonna be cool, we gonna be cool. If we gotta do all this other shit, leave me the fuck alone and get the fuck out of my face. Cause I can stand on my own by myself, as people know. And so it just came like that. And so I just had a lot of respect because I stuck to myself, and because I was a part of it, but I wasn't privy to it. And so I did my own thing separate from everybody. I read, I learned everything, and I just did all of that. But yeah. Are y'all ready to talk about these transits? Hey, props to you, fam. You need to get you a Pluto through Aquarius transit journey readings. You need to just step out of just the natal readings and get you one of these other ones. For real. God damn. It's crazy. I'm on YouTube working right now, right? YouTube just charged me for YouTube Premium, which is stupid. I get paid from YouTube, but I pay for my own subscription basically because they still charge me for a premium subscription. That's fucking stupid. YouTube, you need to get at me. And you still owe me my bonus. We've been just chilling and vibing for an hour, y'all. My bad. I had to put y'all up on game since y'all want to talk about that. And so just telling y'all my experiences, that's what I went through. That's a part of what made me me. It was trash, but it was not as bad as it could be for some people. It was just like a stupid ass experience, man. Like, you said, what's my price on Synastry composite Davidson charts? I just do Synastry. I haven't been doing any composite charts. I really don't want to. I can answer composite questions for you here on YouTube, but as far as doing composite charts, I don't plan on it. I can, but I don't plan on it. That would have to be a price that you have to pay to get me out. But they're $111. I'm dealing with two different energies. They're a little bit pricier, just a little bit for the audio recordings. And then, of course, those prices escalate when we're talking about getting on the phone and talking or in Zoom sessions. And so, yeah, that's the price, the base price of those starting fundamentally with that. And so, somebody smile right now. When it comes to the sun being in Capricorn, this is where ambition kicks in. This is where responsibility kicks in. This is where discipline kicks in. This is where you got to reach down and find that grit inside of you, because this shit can be frustrating. You know, I was just talking about it. It's funny that for us here westernly, right as the solstice comes, Capricorn season kicks in, and then Christmas happens for a lot of us. And really, not even just for Christmas. You have Hanukkah, you have Christmas, you have Kwanzaa, you have so many things that happen within that time frame right there. That it's like you do all of this stuff. You've staved up, you worked so hard, but it's just to give it away or to give things to people. And so it's like, man, there could be something inside of you where it's like, man, like you resent it a little bit, but it's your responsibility. It is. We're gonna get deep into this. You resent it a little bit, but it's your motherfucking responsibility. You know, it's for the smile you see on other people's faces. And then, but you have something inside of you that's like, what am I gonna get out of this? What's coming for me on this? And so, hold on. Ty Benz, you said on average, how long does Synastry charts usually take for me to read recorded? The same as usual, about 10 days. I mean, that's not how long it takes me, but I have other clients, so I have to put you in line, and so I will get it to you within those 10 days, like always. Sometimes it's a lot faster. Sometimes it's right at the 10-day mark. But everything is working beautifully business-wise right now, so I'm very efficient. I will get it to you within the 10-day frame. Maybe before, maybe after. But yeah, I can't put a definitive time frame other than that on it. Oh, you said the recording is probably an hour, between an hour and 2 hours. Anywhere, it could be an hour, it could be 2 hours. So yeah, really depends on how much synastry y'all got between each other. Some people don't have that much synastry, so it might be an hour long. They might have 15 aspects between them total that are of note we're speaking on. And then we'll talk about the placements that are of note. But other people, they might have 50 major aspects between them, and so it's gonna take 2 hours, 2.5 hours for us to really get down and go down through there and see everything that's happening between them energetically. But yeah. You know, this right here is like, you just got to discipline yourself. You got to reach down, find that grit inside of you. You just got to keep pushing, because it's going to pay off in the end. I can't guarantee you how it's going to pay off for you, but I promise you it will. Capricorn always pays off. In the end, you do get the recognition, you do get the money, you do get the accomplishment, you get whatever it is, you put the work in with Capricorn. So you just got to do it. This ain't Virgo. Virgo is work for work's sake sometimes. Capricorn is different. Capricorn is doing it for something. Capricorn does nothing for nothing. That's not how Capricorn works. It's not because I have good work ethic. It's not because Capricorn wants to advance in the company. Capricorn wants a raise. Capricorn wants recognition. Capricorn wants to see that plaque on the wall. Capricorn wants to see that motherfucking money in the bank account. Capricorn wants to see these people having to motherfucking look up to them. You understand? What's up, Temptress, the Enchantress? How you doing? Hey, y'all, in about an hour, or about 30 minutes, actually, I'm going to go wake my kids up because they stayed up half the night, or really most of the night, but they don't realize they got to go to school tomorrow, so ain't no motherfucking laying down all around here today. No, you finna get up, you got to get ready for school tomorrow. So you might as well wake up, get into your motherfucking day. Your ass going to school tomorrow, and we not fighting you in the morning. We not fighting you in the morning, your ass going to school. Yeah. Get some structure around here. See, I like this shit. This is where my Mars is. The sun is right there coming into my 4th house today. About to come into a conjunction with my Mars. So this is how I am really, for real. I really don't play no motherfucking games. I stand on business all the time. People that know me know that. I am playful, but I don't play games. You understand? I stand on business every time. Yes, I'm emotional and I'm nice and I'm sensitive, but I also stand on business all the time. All right, good night, Top Bins. We appreciate you coming, family. Now, look, man, this is where you also find ways to master things in life. Master yourself. Take the time to master your emotions. Take the time to master your craft. Not just work on it, master it. You hear me? Sometimes, in your sexual endeavors, you might have to become that master. Sometimes when you're dealing with people in business, you have to be that bastard. You hear me? And don't get it twisted. It's not just all serious, even though it is serious. Capricorn plays hard than a motherfucker too. Some people forget that. Sometimes we gotta realize Capricorn is like, hey, we take this very seriously. That's why New Year's Eve, that shit is very serious. That's a party that we take fucking seriously. We plan for that shit all year. Now, I'm not a partying type, so I didn't do shit, but watch my kids play drunk and realize that one of my sons might actually have an alcohol problem, and he didn't even drink any alcohol. He's a Pisces rising, and I realized that I gotta watch him because he has the symptoms. I done lied to my Aquarius, Virgo moon, Pisces rising sun. I went and got 3 bottles of sparkling cider, right? So we come back, I say, hey, man, y'all drink all that cider. I popped it open at 12 o'clock because I fell asleep at like 9:30. My son woke me up at 11:30 like, hey, it's 11:30. Are you going to wake up and party with us? And I'm like, yeah. And then I fell back asleep again, and he woke me up. He was like, it's 12, it's 20:25. And so I jumped up. I went and grabbed the sparkling cider. I popped the top on it. It popped off like champagne, shot all across the room and shit. And then I poured them up, right? As soon as I poured them up, the older boys, they're 15 and 14. They take a sip of it. They put their cup down. They go on about their business. His little 9-year-old Pisces rising ass chugs the whole cup. Says, oh, I think I feel something. He thinks it's real champagne. He said, pour me another cup. I can have more? I said, yeah, you can have some more. I poured him another cup. He said, I think I'm going to drink that whole bottle. I said, drink the whole bottle, son. He drank the whole motherfucking bottle. Next thing I swear to God, next thing you know, he said, I think I'm going to drink that other bottle. I said, you're going to drink 2 bottles? He said, I'm going to drink 2 bottles. I'm going to drink 10 cups. He goes, he drinks it, he's chugging. I mean, this little nigga is chugging cider like nothing I've ever seen. He keeps saying, I keep telling him, hey, bro, it's probably not going to make you drunk. It'll probably just make you sleepy. He said, yeah, I'm feeling a little sleepy. He sat there and drank 3 bottles of sparkling cider to the head. Then came over there talking about, yeah, I think it really is making me tired, Dad. I'm gonna go ahead and make me a pallet and go to sleep. Now he has a bed. He just made him a pallet. No, he drank 3 bottles of sparkling cider, thinking it was champagne. Like, bro, you trying that hard to drink? Like, you grounded. No, I didn't ground him, but I was appalled, and I was just became concerned as a parent. Like, man, when this motherfucker gets in high school and shit, I'm gonna have to watch him. But he used to be like that when he was a baby. He drank alcohol when he was a baby. I'm sad to say. I've seen him, you know, when I used to drink beer, which I haven't drank beer in years, but when he was 2, 3 years old and I used to drink beer, I'd leave my bottle out. He'd just go pick, because he was like that as a kid. He loves beverages. So he would just go pick up anybody's drink, anybody's soda, anybody, and just drink out of it when he was young. He's a Virgo moon now. He won't do that shit. But he just, when he was young, but he did a lot of stuff. He ate bugs. He's an Aquarius. He ate bugs when he was little. Like, he was just one of those little kids that was like that. Like, he's an Aquarius. Like, I've been standing there with him and his brothers before, and there's a bug just crawling, and he just, pow! Just grab it and just eat it. I remember one day I was sitting there with my son, and he has all of these planets in the first house. He's an Aquarius, and he's a Pisces rising, and he has Virgo moon, but every one of his planets other than his moon are in the 1st and 12th house. And then his moon is in the 6th house, right? No, 7th house. His moon is in the 7th. It's in the 6th or 7th house cusp. It's right there. But either way, I remember one day I was walking by. He was 4 years old, and he was just standing there like concentrating, looking out the screen door at our house. And so he's Daddy's baby. I went and I said, "What are you doing, Daddy's baby? What you doing?" He said, "I'm just thinking." And I said, "You thinking?" I said, "What you thinking about, Daddy?" He said, "I'm thinking about going outside and killing a squirrel and eating it." I said, "What?" He said, "But yeah, I don't want to hurt no animals." If you don't want to hurt no animals, you're controlling yourself, but you have an impulse to go outside and kill a squirrel and eat it. But yeah, he just like that, man. He's a different kid. That's my baby. But yeah, that nigga was just sitting there. I said, "Man, I'm thinking about going outside and killing a squirrel and eating it, but I don't want to hurt no animals." That's that Virgo moon. Virgo moon in the 6th house, they love animals. And he does. But yeah, I'm just concerned for this little dude, man. He drank all that motherfucking cider. Like, his bladder has to be of iron because he didn't piss the bed or anything. But he drank all that shit and just went straight to sleep. Like, it really did. But yeah, man, it's Capricorn season. Now, as far as aspects with the sun is sextile to Saturn. The sun is sextile to Saturn, but square to Chiron. Now, this is interesting, especially for today. With the sun sextile to Saturn, and it's separating from that sextile, so tomorrow it'll really kind of start moving away from it, really. I just feel like this is Capricorn and Pisces, so it's real easy for you to stress yourself out. But it's also a real great time for you to realize, hey, man, that's not even worth worrying about. We ain't got time for that. See, with Saturn and Pisces, a lot of people have a lot of anxiety and worry and fear and doubt and frustration. And the sun in Capricorn is more or less like, let's do something about it. Let's just do something about it. That's the beautiful thing with this sextile is now you're aware of the issue. Let's just do something about it. And you can also have inspiration with this right here. It's like, I'm tougher than my problems. Just like MH just said, hey, man, I got it going on. Yeah, MH been going through this Saturn return. MH said, I've been going through it. I've been having a rough time. And I just said, hey, MH, you tough. And MH says, I gotta be. And that's true. With the sun in Capricorn, you kind of realize that. The sun is sitting there sextile to Saturn. It's like, man, you tougher than this bullshit. You a good piece of leather. You well put together. You hear me? Billy Sheely said, do I think Jesus could kickflip? No. Jesus did a lot of walking. He probably had bad feet. So it's probably not something that Jesus could do. You have to understand, Jesus Christ was Jesus Christ and could do, if you were to believe the myth, but it still was a human man. Walking on water is something completely different, but it still was a human man, or Jesus Christ. Then that kills the whole facade. Then Jesus Christ was not a human being. Jesus Christ, that's what you have to understand. And for that completely takes away the spiritual significance of the whole equation. And so walking on water at this point in time, like that, we don't know what that actually meant and what that actually looks like and all of this, but making this something to where this is a superhero is something completely different. Right? Right? He still had the physical limitations of a body. When they pierced his side, he still bled. When they crucified him, his spirit, I mean his physical condition still weakened greatly. Him carrying the cross through those stations, it was still a tremendous burden to bear. Do you understand? It's a tremendous burden to bear. Water bearer, Saturn is now coming into my 6th house, so I definitely get it, bro. But yeah, that's a burden to bear. You really got to look at things and try to put them into perspective. So, just keeping it realistic, you have to look at things. And so I'm not sure that I believe that. Now, it was a theoretical fun question that you asked, but I don't think that. Ebony is so well read. Shout out to Ebony. My motherfucking family. Ebony. The Rider. Tribal Council. Motherfucking. Just everything. Now. Back to the transits. The sun is not only sextile to Saturn, but it's also square to Chiron. And so that does mean today is going to be one of those type of days where it's like, hey, you know what you're responsible for, you. Once you're aware, you got to go to work on it. And you have to control yourself. You understand? Sometimes you're going to make some mistakes moving impulsively or acting impulsively or operating out of fear. And so either you be mature and you can control this, or you let it control you, right? And so now with Chiron being in Aries right here, what you ultimately see right here is conflicts. So how do you respond to conflict? Well, that doesn't mean that you have to escape or run from conflict with the sun sextile to Saturn in Pisces. Instead, what you need to do is just take care of things head on. And there is a conflict right here. It is a cardinal conflict, as a matter of fact. It's fucking Capricorn and Aries. But that also right there is two of the most ambitious and headstrong energies that you're going to encounter right there. This isn't Cancer and Libra, and not that Cancer is soft, because Cancer is very strong, and not that Libra is, because Libra has its own strength. But with Capricorn, there is a certain amount of confrontational energy that's there. It's a matter of principle. You understand? And so with this right here, you do it because you have to do it. You keep going because you don't have no other fucking choice. And you'll respect yourself more. And the toughness you build in the process of keep going through whatever conflict arises is something that builds character. It's something that you don't have to look for validation in anybody else to tell you, oh, you did a good job. You know inside of you that you went hard because guess what? It was you doing it. Hit the fucking like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. It's only 8:38 in the morning and I've been going hard for damn near an hour and a half already. I done took y'all to the penitentiary and everything else. Hold on, somebody. Oh man, they fucking with me. My money funny, man. Christmas fucks up my money, but I had a spiritual experience on Christmas that was just like, man, stop worrying about money. Just put your work in. Stop worrying about money. That's hard. I have Saturn in the second house. So yeah, hold up. But yeah. So the moon is at 12 degrees of Aries. We kind of talked about the moon being in Aries at length earlier already when we were talking about Tupac. But this is just a very impulsive, instinctive energy. It's also intuitive. Like when the moon is in Aries, you got to go with your gut. But sometimes the thing you got to do with this square between the moon and the sun that's going on is control yourself. And that's hard to do because everything is sitting there on the surface. But control yourself. Make it worth it. If you're going to make a move, make it worth it. This is chess, not checkers. This is what the Capricorn energy is trying to remind you. It's like, okay, you got if you feel like you got to do this, then you better make it worth it. You understand? And so take the courage that you have right now, take the drive that you have right now, take the energy that the moon in Aries gives you and do something productive with it. Put it to work instead of letting it be something that frustrates you and makes you mad and you get into it with somebody, because this is also going to happen. We got a very interesting lunar process going on over the next 12 hours. All right. You have the moon square to the sun right now. And this is where people, you know, you feel disrespected. This is where you also are very serious. You're taking things seriously. So when you respond to something, you're going to respond with a little bit of attitude. The moon is square to the sun. Like this is where people are going to have a little bit of attitude today for these, you know, for these next 4 or 5 hours. Like, okay, I see it. You know what I'm saying? People going to have a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of chippiness to them. But you also have the moon coming into a sextile with Jupiter also right now, presently. As a matter of fact, yeah, the moon is exactly sextile to Jupiter right now. And so with this right here, this is actually good in the instance that if you can find some type of way to stay active, it's great. But the retrograde action of this is like arguing, bickering, and also like your energy, like you getting started on something and you getting your energy into something, but you need to be able to make that sustainable. That's why you have to use that Capricorn energy to finish, to will your way through it, because you're gonna have lots of energy to start lots of stuff, but you got to use that Capricorn energy to will your way through whatever you have going on today, because it's like you're gonna have a lot of energy and you're gonna be stimulated to a point to where you might get started on several things at once. But you have to understand, once you get started on whatever you got started on, you are expected to finish that. And a lot of the times with Jupiter and Gemini, that's hard to do because your energy gets too spread. And so when it gets spread too thin, you got too many irons in the fire, you run out of fire. And so that's the problem with Jupiter and Gemini. And then when it's retrograde, that is where those problems are going to be a little bit more prominent. The retrograde motion doesn't always change the energy. It just actually comes back over it and makes it more pronounced. You know, when you look at Mercury, it makes it Ari, but this is not Mercury. All right, it's Jupiter. And so Jupiter is just bringing an overload or an overabundance to this energy because it stays just a little bit longer in each one of those degrees. And then it's coming back over something that it's already touched on. And so it's just bringing all of this energy. And so with Gemini, this is eclectic energy. It's electric energy. It's effervescent energy, but it's also not very focused. It's all over the place. You hear me? And so with it being like that, it's like there's so much things that are stimulating right now that you could get overstimulated. And then when you see the moon in Aries in that sextile with Jupiter, it can be very positive because you can really get started on some shit. You can really get off to a quick start on things. But you're going to have to come through with that Capricorn energy and get that shit right there to help you finish whatever you're involving yourself in and push that to do over the top. All right? Now, the moon is also going to conjunct Chiron. So we have the sun in this square with Chiron, but as the day progresses and goes on into the evening and it starts getting, I would say about 5 or 6 more hours as this goes on. It's, for me, 8:43 in the morning. And so as it gets away from 8:43 in the morning and we get more into 3 p.m., 4 p.m. this afternoon, for some of y'all that would be 6 or 7 p.m. For some people that would be 8 or 9 p.m. at night that are across seas. For some people in the west coast of the United States or on the west coast of the United States, it'll be more like 2, 3 p.m. this afternoon. But whatever happens, you know, here later on, as this progresses and the moon starts to come into a conjunction with Chiron, there's going to be stuff that comes up. There's going to be things that you have to confront. And this might not be a big deal because it's the moon. It's going to be something that happens real quick. But it's just up to you to confront it, because when you don't confront it with Aries, then that becomes a problem. Then resentment builds. Then anger comes inside of you, and then the anger becomes an issue in itself. So if you have any type of altercation or anything today, I think what you should do is constructively confront whatever you have going on. It's one of those days. You know, and it's a very serious energy. And sometimes you need to confront things inside of yourself. You need to be aware of your own issues. You need to be aware of your own triggers. You need to be aware of everything that's going on with you so that you don't get yourself in trouble. And we are in a 7 vibration numerologically today. And so when you're looking in that 7, sometimes that does involve a lot of learning things the hard way. It does involve introspection. It does involve really taking a long look at yourself and seeing where the problem lies. And so with Chiron being in Aries, this is the perfect time for you to realize, okay, this is the part I play in the problem. Yes, they're responsible for their part, but I'm here responsible for me. And that's what's hard to do. My son has Chiron in Aries right there in his first house, y'all. And he just struggles with being responsible. You get what I mean? Not irresponsible like in a Capricorn, but being, you know, being responsible for his actions sometimes. And for him to stand up for himself, even like it's hard for him to stand up for himself. He's not a scary little kid. He plays, you know, physical football for years since he was in 2nd grade. You know, he runs the ball and tackles and hits, and so it's not that he's scared of physical altercations. He just doesn't stand up for himself because he doesn't look at it. I don't know. He doesn't look at it like that. I'm different. So it's, you know, I'm still trying to understand it. But when you have the moon come into that conjunction with Chiron, I'm just telling you, there's going to be some things that are going to evoke a reaction out of you, or evoke an emotional response very quickly. You're going to feel some type of way. And it's not like usual where it's something that's subtle. It's like, okay, that's how you feel. And it cannot be a bad thing, but you have to really allow yourself to feel that, because that's a part of who you are. That's a part of the energy that's going on with you and for you. So you just have to allow yourself to feel that and so you have to allow yourself to respond to your emotions instinctively. And it might be scary, it might get you into trouble, but hey, sometimes shit needs to be confronted. Then other instances, it's just like, okay, this is the perfect time for you to confront something and to constructively work on it, using the sun and Capricorn in there. So just look at it like that. Hey, MH, you know what's crazy is, if you were born in the 80s, you've lived in 5 different decades. If you were born in the 70s, you lived in 6 different decades. If you were born in the 60s, you lived in 7 different decades. Look, 80s, 90s, right? 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. You were born in the 80s, you lived in 5 different fucking decades, man. And guess what? 2 different centuries and 2 different millennias also. 5 different decades, 2 different centuries, and 2 different millennia. That shit'll fucking frustrate you. I think that has an energetic significance in some way, form, or fashion. You know, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but just thinking about that, like, that has to mean something. It's crazy. For those people that were born in those times of changing centuries and changing industrial revolutions and technological revolutions and things like that. You know, for the people between the 1700s and the 1800s, you had an industrial revolution that was happening. Between the 1800s and the 1900s, you had an industrial revolution that was happening. You know, as far as factories and all of that stuff that was coming through, and the motor vehicle and all of those things that came through with that. And then when you come in for the 1700s to the 1800s, it was more about weaponry and shipping things and stuff like that. And there was other stuff that came on as far as technological advancements then, but there was definitely an industrial and technological revolution going on then. From the 1800s to the 1900s, you had the same thing going on as far as all of the factories and people moving from the rural areas to the big cities. This is where the big cities really became those denizens, besides New York City, which has always been New York City, or New Amsterdam before it was that. And then when you come to this now, you come look at from the 1990s to the 2000s, we had iPods and iPhones and all of these things that kick on, and technology really took off. First, you had the advent of the internet really come on in the early 90s, and then as that progressed, you just saw more and more and more devices. If you go through the spectrum, I remember when I was a young kid, having a VCR was a bad motherfucker. But then when they had DVD players, like, you didn't even think about that for a while, because that shit was out. And before they had DVDs, they had Blu-ray. And then you also look at all the game systems and how that's evolved. You also look, I remember when you had Walkmans, and then you got the portable CD players, and if you had to have money. I remember in 7th grade, I won a portable CD player at a dance, at my 7th grade dance at school. And I was so happy that I got that, because there's no way that my mom could have afforded that if I didn't win that. There just wasn't any way. And then I remember just 2 years later, they were $2. You could go to the dollar store and buy one for $2 or $10, because just that quickly things changed. And so it was just like, man, like, we really went through a very quick industrial revolution. We really saw that things advanced very quickly. And so I do think that has to do with people being and living through those times. It does do something to your soul, and it does mean that you have specific reasoning for being in place. And so I really think that it probably does mean something more significant karmically. I just haven't quite put my finger on it yet and able to put a actual determination on that. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about Mercury. See, Mercury is at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. So we're almost done with Mercury and Sagittarius after all this time and the retrograde and everything else. Then Mercury's going to get into Capricorn, and people are going to be taking everything literally. Right now, things are a little bit more figuratively. It's like, okay, that makes sense. And that's what matters, is if it makes sense, right? The big picture matters. All right? As long as people understand what you're trying to say, it doesn't matter if there's clerical errors. It doesn't matter if you said a word wrong or you pronounced something wrong. As long as you understand is what I was trying to say. That's Mercury and Sagittarius. You understand? You can use your wisdom and your intuition to put together whatever it is I'm trying to say, right? And there's also a certain bluntness and vulgarity that comes with Mercury and Sagittarius, to where people think people have an attitude, but they really don't. They're just saying it how the fuck they mean it. And how you take it is how you take it. You know, one of my favorite rappers that we listen to all the time, Zero, he says, "Take it how you want to take it. I don't give a damn. I'm an asshole by nature, nigga. This is who I am." Right? I remember I deal with my lady who's a Mercury and Sagittarius, and I'll get so mad sometimes, like, man, stop talking like that. Like, I don't know how many times we've had those conversations, like, man, why I don't know why you cussing like that, and why you talking like that, like, You do not have to go off like that. You don't have to cuss like that. And she's like, I'm not fucking being mean. And I'm not tripping. I'm like, but it seems like you are. And she's like, people are too fucking soft. Or she'll just be like, that's how I am. If people can't take it, they fucking can't take it. Because I don't mean it. And for them, it's a positive thing. They're just being honest. They're just being blunt. And in this energy right here, people think they're just being real. It's like, hey, man, I'm just telling it like it is. And people feel they respect their self better. And so they feel like it's something positive, but they're not paying attention to the response that other people have to it. Like, damn, motherfucker talking crazy? Man, I know. Like, who the fuck you talking to? You understand? And so it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah. And then Mercury squared to Neptune. So this is a very idealistic and imaginative energy. People only see what they want to see. People are hearing what they want to hear when you tell them something. This is different than Mars. Mars is usually it's a person that they're lying a little bit. But this right here, what this does is make people gullible. Oh, yeah. Mercury and Sagittarius squared and Neptune and Pisces exactly. Today, motherfuckers are gullible. They listen, they believe anything. Motherfucker tell you anything. Now you gassed up. Yesterday, I was doing that shit. I was gassing some shit up in my Facebook group, not the Priceless Knowledge of Self, but in Star yesterday. Shout out to everybody in Star. Yeah, you know who we are. Now, but yeah, what's up? Sakshi, sit up you. But yeah, I was gassing up this Mars and Scorpio yesterday because she was like talking all this shit about being a Mars and Scorpio, and she was like, there was a little racial moment that we had, right? And over some bullshit. There was a little racial moment, right? And so she's a white lady. She cool, but she does look like the Joker a little bit. Motherfucker be like, the motherfucker's scary looking, I ain't gonna lie to you. And she's a Mars and Scorpio. So to look like that and possibly be a murderer, you playing with fire. But anyway, everybody was telling her to shut up. They was all arguing, and they was like, shut the fuck up. And she was like, I got Mars and Scorpio. I'm not gonna shut up. And so once she said that, I just started gassing it up. Right, I started gassing it up. Like I know, you know what I'm saying? So I just started doing what we do in the hood. I just started saying, yeah, April, tell them to stop fucking playing with you. These bitches got you fucked up. And then they had muted her in the group. They're like, we fucking muted you. We told you to shut the fuck up. They're really trying to save her from getting dogpiled on in the group because she was taking a stance and defending somebody who said some racial shit when she's not really racial like that, and everybody knows it, but she shouldn't be speaking on it. And so everybody's about to attack her. And so the admin are more or less like, shut the fuck up. Like, they're trying to save her, but her ego's involved. She's a Scorpio, Mars, Leo, Mercury. And so her ego's involved, and she's like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? She's digging in like, I don't shut the fuck up. I'm not shutting the fuck up. Which is what I would do too. I'm not shutting the fuck up. Basically like, fuck y'all. And they're like, nah, shut the fuck. And so I'm over there like, man, don't tell them to stop telling you to shut the fuck up. So they muted her, but I run the group. So I'm like, hey, pay me $20, I'll unmute you. Like, I'm a Mars and Capricorn. I will sell out. And so I said, hey man, pay me, I'll unmute you. Tell these bitches to stop playing with you. Tell them they don't know what the fuck it means to have Mars and Scorpio, that they don't even know who the fuck they playing with. And so I got her gassed all the way up though, right? And so the fact of the matter was though, they were not paying attention. Like, she was just saying that anybody can have mental illness. She was not defending the person who was being racial, right? She was not defending the person who was being racial. She was just saying anybody can have mental illness, because the person who was being racial, they used their mental illness as their excuse. They said, hey, I'm having a mental breakdown right now. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that racial stuff. I just, I'm having, and so everybody was trying to get on her about, now you're using mental illness as an excuse. You're trying to use that as an excuse for what you said, that racial shit you said. That shit's not going to fly, right? They still on her ass, right? The earth signs are still on her ass. But then April comes through and was just like, anybody can have mental illness. It's not racial. And she's way off topic. Like, you only see what you want to see. Nobody's even saying no that anybody can't. Like, that's a foregone conclusion. Yes, anybody can have mental illness. We are talking about her using her mental, and I wasn't in the conversation, but I'm watching it. We're talking about her using her mental illness as the excuse for being racist at that moment in time, and bringing up racial shit in a group full of black folks, right? Where the creator of the group and the main facilitator, me, are both people of color. And so thinking you could bring this here and do this was out of line. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? And so it's like the dude coming to Kai's house when Kai Cenat had the little thing, and the magician coming to Kai's house and doing the fucking noose and then disappearing. He did a hanging fucking skit or trick, magic trick, and then disappeared in front of a whole bunch of black people. Like, why we got people on nooses up here? What? Like, that's tasteless. You know what I'm saying? That's tasteless. Like, why would you even bring that here? You should have read the room. You should have kept that on your main timeline, and then we wouldn't even fuck with you about it, because that's y'all's business. But you brought this here talking about don't call white people Caucasian, don't do this and this and this, and like, this is the wrong place to do that. Because now they're going to come in here calling you sour milk and shit. And so it just more or less like they had this whole thing where it's like, you just got to understand where you're at. Like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. But anyway, I was gassing her up. To make a long story short, I was gassing her up because I knew she was only seeing what she wanted to see, and I was, and they were only seeing what they wanted to see. And so with Mercury square to Neptune, this is what happens, and this is Pisces. Like, people are saying stuff, but you're imagining people saying stuff too. Like, you're only seeing what you want to see. You think you're telling it like it is, but you're only telling it how it ought to be to you. And you're not seeing things clearly. You're just fucking seeing it how you want to see it. And so when you do that, yes, you're being honest, but that doesn't mean it's true. Yes, you're being authentic, but that doesn't mean it's real. And some people can't ever figure out how to differentiate between that. All right? But yeah, with Mercury square Neptune, it's a great time to write imaginative things, do some, do all types of stuff as far as poetry and all that. It's a great time to be creative, but it's also a time where you need to pay attention, because your imagination can get the best of you right now. You can imagine something being something that it's not. You can also idealize a conversation or something that somebody said to you, and then you could be dead wrong. You could also just be fucking gullible to a lying ass motherfucker. All right. But yeah. So what I got to do real fast, y'all, is I got to take a break for just 1 second. I got to go wake my kids up real fast. So I'm about to turn this up. And then I got to go wake my kids up. Then we coming back for another hour or two. Hold on. They finna be mad at me. Just a second. I'm sending a text. Sorry. y'all's patience. I still had to do that though. Hold up. Sorry, I was reading the comments. Hold up, let me see, make sure there ain't no rage going on. Let me see what my sister doing. All right, I don't know. My sister said something. I'm trying to see. But anyway, smile right now. We in this thing. Looking good, feeling good. The moon is in Aries. We don't give a fuck. Just fine. So blessed. I got 3 handsome sons in there. You seeing my little sons? You know what I'm saying? Like, I love my babies. Anyway, let's talk about Venus. Maybe that's why I feel so good for me personally. But Venus is at 3 degrees of Pisces. Oh yeah. And Venus happens to be exalted in Pisces. So you know what that means? See, some people are going to make this more complex than it has to be, and it's not complex. It's the fact that we ain't worried about that small shit. We just love. I'm full of love. I remember I told my wife that the first thing this morning, you know, of course we saw each other when we were asleep, but when I saw her awake, because I woke up first this morning, when I saw her awake, I had been awake for an hour or so. I got up at 5 this morning. And when I saw her, I just said, I'm full of love. I love you. I went and gave her a kiss, but that's how I feel. You know, I just feel full of love, and that's invigorating me. You understand? And so with Venus in Pisces, it is unconditional. I'm not tripping on the small shit. I fucking love you. Ain't none of us perfect. All right? Like, I'm just fucking full of love, man. And I'm full of joy. This is in my 5th house, though. It's Venus in my 5th house. And I'm creative. And I'm strong. And it's just like my natural gifts. You know, Venus is on my moon and trying my sun, trying my Pluto. So it's trining my sun in my 9th house, trying my Pluto in my 1st house. It's in my 5th house, conjunct my moon. But when it comes to us, period, with Venus in Pisces, Venus is exalted in Pisces because we ain't worried about the small shit. Some people say that's delusional, but don't get it twisted. We not confused. We just not tripping. I forgive you for the sake of love. You hear me? That's how we are with this. Now, this is also a beautifully creative and artistic time. Venus is in Pisces. This is where you get that divine inspiration. You hear me? Man, I sense the divine love in you. I love you so motherfucking much, man. Let me show you. This is art. This is how I feel. This is beautiful. Even the pain that we've been through together, that's beautiful. You heard me? Some people look at like this is weakness, but motherfucking about weak as water. I heard somebody once say weak as water. What you mean? Water carved the Grand Canyon. You must not have been in the Bering Straits. You hear me? You gotta be careful in mutable water too. Shit gets stagnant. Bacteria get in your motherfucking foot. It's a wrap for you. The wrong thing get inside of you. With Pisces energy, that shit can be a disease. You fuck around, get an amoeba in your brain. You know what fear is? Fear is an amoeba. It's eating your fucking brain. It's eating everything at you. You stressing yourself out. You letting anxiety get the best of you. You worried about the small shit. Don't do that. No. You can't do that. You just gotta fucking learn how to go with the flow. Get in that flow state. Let divinity flow through you. I also tell you, make sure you drink plenty of water. Now, you do have to be careful because you can develop a love of substances. You know what I'm saying? I'm smoking this blunt, and not only am I smoking it, but I'm smoking it. That motherfucker feel good. You hear me? Like, I'm enjoying this motherfucker. But I gotta be careful. But yeah, man. This is where you find the divine part of yourself that allows you to love. Love beyond circumstance. Yeah. I need y'all to hit that motherfucking Cash App that's paying right there too. I need a little something. It's Capricorn season. I need a little something for me. I got plenty for you, but it still is Capricorn season. I need a little something for me. You hear me? I said, man, I'm gonna show a little cleavage. That's why I said, let me show a little cleavage this morning. I've been shaping back up. I blew up for a minute, but then here these last few weeks, I started shaping back up again. I said, slowly, Lestat is starting to feel like his full self again. Yeah. And y'all might be trying to judge me because y'all been watching the show, Interview with the Vampire. I'm not that Lestat. I'm Lestat from the books. You hear me? I'm Lestat from the books. Complete, like, the show is awesome, but Lestat from the books is different than that. That show is from Louis' perspective, which has also been changed and turned to fit into this modern time. Interview with the Vampire, the book, is from Louis' perspective, and Louis has a less fantasized version of Lestat than Lestat would have for Lestat. Lestat has a lot of vividity. But yeah, you gotta look at it. Look in the books. All of those are wrong though. Louis cannot be, because like the show is cool, but Louis, first of all, they've made too much of an emphasis on their sexuality when vampires are not biologically sexual. They love the blood. Once they are vampires, they no longer get sexual pleasure as far as having physical intercourse. If you read Blood and Gold or Pandora, Pandora speaks of her and Marius laying together. After Marius turned her into a vampire, they would lay together, and he would put his member inside of her, just because that is what they were used to doing for intimacy. But she speaks of them having no feeling like that. It's not like that. The blood, what they got was from drinking from each other and sharing their blood with each other and mixing their elixir of divinity and their power and all of that other shit. That's where they got intimacy, not from sexual intercourse, because that's something that was no longer afterthought. That's something that they lost as far as that. That's why when Lestat had the tale of the body thief in the books and he got to go back into a human body, the first thing he did was accidentally rape somebody, because he wanted that impulse, that feeling again. And so in the spirit, it's not because I have a problem with homosexuality. It's because they put an emphasis on that show on sexuality because of the times we live in. When if you in Rice's vision, the vampires are not sexual in that way. Now they all are bisexual, so they love men and that, but it's more about the blood. It's like they love energy, and they love people's charisma. They fall in love with people. Now Marius and Armand Marius is bisexual. Armand is gay. in the books. Armand has always been gay, but it's because he was sexually abused by the Catholic Church and then Marius. And so Armand was an altar boy that was abused by the pastors in the 1500s of his church, and he was used in the way that they used him. And then Marius actually, when he turned him, Marius turned him into a sexual object. But Armand is only 15 years old when he's turned into a vampire. And so people don't, when we see Armand on Interview with the Vampire with Antonio Banderas, and you see Armand on the show as the Indian guy, that's not correct, as far as Armand is a 15-year-old that was turned into a vampire. That's why he has a unique energy towards Claudia when Claudia came into his mix, and he ended up wanting to kill Claudia because he felt the abomination in himself. But a lot of people don't read into those type of things. And so the Interview with the series, you talking about the Interview with the Vampire show. There's a show, Interview with the Vampire, on AMC. Just like there's the show The Mayfair Witches, which is very accurate. The Mayfair Witches is a badass show. The Interview with the Vampire is a good show, but it's something that it's because it's based on the books. It's not necessarily on the books. All right. But yeah, like with Louis Pontelac's character, Louis de Pontelac is from New Orleans in the books, but it is fundamental to know that Louis was a plantation owner. He owned slaves. That was an integral part of Louis's makeup and his character and where he came from to make Louis who he is as a vampire. And for him to have the power that he had to have lived that long. And so Louis, the fact that they made Louis black and in New Orleans in 1930s, that cannot fit to Louis's character. It just cannot fit to Louis. You know what I'm saying? Louis just can't. And to make him this in the closet gay dude to do this, that's not what Louis was. That's not Louis. And Lestat is bisexual and sapiosexual and all kinds of sexual. But Louis that's not what Louis is about. Louis is sad. Louis is in love with sadness. And so, as y'all can tell, I read a lot. Sorry. But that's my favorite series of books. But Louis is in love with sadness. Lestat is in love with himself. And Lestat is be involved with anybody that is involved with Lestat. Journey Walker, Queen of the Damned, Lestat. If you pay attention, Lestat is the main character in the movie. In Interview with the Vampire, Louis is the main character, but Tom Cruise is Lestat. Tom Cruise is more accurate to Lestat. You understand? But in Louis' eyes, Lestat is a villain because of everything that happened with Claudia. But in Lestat's eyes, Louis is in love of his life as far as his best friend, his companion, his son. It's not his lover. It's like his fledgling. He made Louis. He loves Louis. Louis is his best friend. Louis is the only one that keeps it real with him. Louis is the closest thing to a human that you can find in a vampire. That's why he loves Louis. And so there's a different affection that he has for Louis, like he has to his own mom. But Lestat is a freak. Lestat fucked his own mama and turned her into a vampire. Like, Memnoch the Devil is the best book of all time, in my opinion. But yes, Lestat in the Vampire Lestat sleeps with his own mama and turns her into a vampire. Like, that's how Lestat was. You know what I'm saying? That's how Lestat was. But that's also a different time when things like that were common, as fucked and nasty as it is. And as much as I hate Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, where you have to have an understanding of it. Now, that doesn't mean that you are cool with it, but you have to have a certain understanding of it. But yeah, I went into a whole fucking Queen of the Damned and Rice soliloquy off saying slowly I feel like Lestat again. Let's talk about Mars, man. Mars now has retrograded back into Cancer. Now, this is a problem. I'm going to be real with you. This is going to be an issue for a lot of people. See, Mars is retrograde, and then now it's coming into Cancer, where it also happens to fall. So this is going to be a very passive-aggressive energy that gets frustrated. People are going to get frustrated. People are going to take things personally. People are going to respond emotionally to stuff because they let shit sit with them. And this is also where shit gets stirred up. And this is where people don't want to let shit go. You think of the nature of the crab. You know what I'm saying? And why would you ever want to give that a gun? You get what I'm saying? So, like, the Mars in Cancer is an issue. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. And it's going to be retrograde here until February 23rd. And then when it stations, it's going to still be in Cancer. It's at 29 degrees. It's going to get to 17 degrees. And then it's going to station direct. And then it's going to go back through Cancer. So, we still have, like, a 3-month journey as far as it goes with Mars in Cancer, really. No. Yeah. Almost 3 months. And so this is going to be fucking annoying, y'all. And it's going to be personal. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be passive-aggressive until it's aggressive-aggressive. It's going to be people responding to shit emotionally and the emotions having to be compensated for. So it makes the energy just that more complex and complicated. Like, that shit can be tripping, man. What's up, Schism's Last Days? What's cracking? You said you're a Mars in Leo. Is that going to be a problem? If it was, it would have already happened. So no. But yeah, with Mars in Cancer retrograde, this is going to be an issue. And then Mars is trine to Neptune and opposite to Pluto. So with Mars applying this trine with Neptune, a lot of people get shit confused because their emotions are involved. Your feelings are involved now, so you're missing the fucking point, and now you're tripping over some shit. And it's like that easily, like, it's a problem. But you could also be right here where these feelings that you have, these active emotions with Mars in Cancer retrograde, if you can find some type of way to use this creatively, it can be amazing for you. Yeah, taking these active emotions, you could dance more beautifully than you ever have. You hear me? You can make music in a way that people feel it's like emotions are the only thing that's real, right? Yeah. Yeah, y'all caught me in my element this morning. I might have to come early again on Wednesday too. We coming early and answering questions on Wednesday, like. Yeah. Tomorrow I will record a numerology video that will drop on Thursday. We'll do life path 1. So if any of y'all have a 1 life path, we'll be talking about you. We'll be dropping a whole motherfucking video on you. For those of y'all that just want to learn about it, we'll learn about it through that. We'll be continuing that series. I'm so happy after 2 years I'm back on it. Yeah. It's been a crazy 2 years, but we made it. We in this thing like a long ding-a-ling. Like mine. See, I be getting out of control. I need to control myself. It's like I'll be doing good, and then I'll take it too far. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, get yourself right. Mars opposite to Pluto, though. Thank God it's moving away from that opposition for right now. But Mars opposite to Pluto has been like this for months now, it seems like, right? Like, Mars been opposite to Pluto, so it's like, now your emotions have you acting out of the best interest of everybody else, right? You taking it personal, so you taking it, making this personal, like, now how can you be acting in the best interest for everybody when you take everything so personally and you making this more complicated than it has to be? So that's getting in the way of progress. You slowing everything down. This shit is inefficient. And you have to look at Cancer and Aquarius. You have to look at the past and the future. You hear me? And so when you dwelling on the past and you don't want to let go, how you gonna fucking move forward and make real progress and real change? So that's what happens with this. Mars then came back into Cancer, so people come back into shit. They don't want to let shit go. They dwelling on shit. They have emotional responses to shit. So you got all of this shit going, and that's just in the way of progress and change and transformation and revolution. All right, shit's ass backwards, and we not trying to go backwards. You heard me. Hit the fucking like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. We going hard in a bitch. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Join the membership, the Tribal Council. It ain't nothing but $5 a month. It's the least you could do to contribute to everything that I do for you. And everything I will do if you just ask me, because you know I ain't got no boundaries. And so, just come on, man. Fuck with me like that. We need to get that up to at least like 100 people immediately. 85 is the number I want, but we should have 850. That would be a tenth of our subscribers. That would be real. But yeah. Can't let that shit get in the way of progress, you know what I'm saying? Hey, my Leo son, when I just went to wake my kids up, my Leo son, my 15-year-old son, he was not happy. Oh, you could tell he was mad. But I wish he would. No, I'm just playing. That nigga fuck me up. I was watching his football game, his last football game, and I mean, I saw him do it almost every football game. He's short, like, he's one of the shorter kids, but he's very stout. He's got a very low base. He has a big old booty, he has big old thick thighs. He squats, he's a running back. But when he was playing linebacker, I saw this big old fucking offensive lineman try to throw him, and he just threw that offensive lineman. And then I saw another game. I saw another little kid just kind of, they were tussling up because he's the chippiest person on his team. He has a lot of attitude, and it's on the football field, not in life. He's very quiet in life, but on the football field, he's very physical. And so I saw this kid try to throw him, and he just slammed that kid. And I was thinking in my head, like, he ain't got to do no homework tonight. Like, I'm just gonna leave that boy alone. And there's no point in getting him riled up. There's no point in even getting him riled up for nothing. Cause shit, that little motherfucker done got strong. All the fucking football practicing, cause they start, like, when you're in those high school football programs, like, that shit is a program. They start in the summer. He goes to 7-on-7 all summer, all over the state. I'm talking about all over the state. And then after he does that, he has off season where he's lifting weights all fucking summer, trying to bulk up for the next year, and he's doing drills. And then they have two-a-days when the training camp starts. And then they have the whole fucking season. And so, like, these kids be fucking, like, in shape and strong than a motherfucker. For real. No, I ain't scared of him. I just ain't trying to deal with it. There's a difference. You get what I'm saying? Like, some people, and I think that's a Libra rising thing. You get what I mean? As a Libra rising, people forget Libra is still cardinal. I'm not scared of it. I just don't want to deal with that extra shit. So sometimes I go out of my way to avoid a conflict because I don't want to deal with it. Not because I'm scared of it. It's just like, I don't want to deal with that. But I'll tear that boy ass off the motherfucking bone. He's 160 pounds, 170 pounds. I've lost some weight, but I'm still 215 pounds right now. I'm 215 pounds. Like, I'm not no little dude. And I'm a grown man. High school kid strength and grown man strength. Sports strength is different than grown man strength. Like I work. You understand? I work out. I'm 5'11". But yeah, I work out. Like it's different. Grown man strength is different. That's why you'll hear boxers, even athletes, they'll say, I'm waiting to get my grown man strength. You hear what I say? I'm waiting to get my grown man strength. No fucking way what? Yeah, I'm 215, 5'11". I might be 220, but I'm 215, 220, somewhere in there. Last time I weighed myself, I was 221, but I was losing. I had a whole bunch of clothes on, and I've lost weight since then. So I'm probably like 215. I'm trying to get down to 205, and then I'm not gonna lose any more weight. I'm trying to lose 10 more pounds. So I've been on that journey here recently, and I'm feeling good because I've been back on myself. But yeah, I got up to 230, and that's just too big for me. Look at Ebony talking about that grown woman body. Ebony ain't gonna never behave. What that grown woman body looking like? I don't know what that is. You'd have to show me. See how good. The devil got a hold of me. Yeah, but yeah. Double A, what's up, bro? We in this thing, man. We streaming, huh? We be streaming. I'm gonna start going on Twitch too, I promise you. I've been saying it, but I gotta go on Twitch. I just don't like starting new with no subscribers, but I'm gonna go on Twitch. Them niggas making too much money. It ain't about the money. That's just a whole nother avenue. I think we can go on Twitch and go hard. We just be streaming. Like pick one day to stream every week. And we be on that bitch 6 or 7 hours just streaming on that hoe. You understand? Just be on that hoe all day. It might, you know what I'm saying? Streaming, smoking, talking shit, laughing. If I could know how to work it and react to shit like they be doing and all that shit, it'd be live. But that's what I would be doing. Reacting, talk about the astrology when I'm looking at people's charts and breaking down charts and shit. Having people send me charts over, and I might come on and talk about somebody's chart or with them on live. You know what I'm saying? Bring them on. We could do that shit over there on Twitch and really set that bitch off. Like, oh, we have a different person come on every week. We look at your chart. We talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a reading. It's just us, really looking at your chart together and us having commune about astrology. Christy Day said, what's going on in the universe that people have been so uptight? It's Capricorn season. What the fuck you mean? And Mars is retrograde. Christy Day said they on OG Kush this morning. This is... I forgot what this is called. I think this is called Kush Mints. I think this is Kush Mints. Or something like that. Yeah, Kush Mints or something like that. Something like that. But yeah, Mars retrograde probably has a lot to do with it. Let's talk about Jupiter. Jupiter's retrograde too. Jupiter is now at 12 degrees of Gemini. And Jupiter is going to station direct on February 5th. So we're about 30 days out. We're just under a month out from Jupiter stationing direct again. And then that's going to be interesting. That comes in hot right after we have the inauguration and things like that. So things will get more interesting. And I'm going to tell y'all, I actually saw that my sister Joali was predicting that there's going to be a lot more rage bait this year. And I agree with that. But I just think that we chose the type of energy that we wanted, especially us here in the United States. We chose Donald Trump because this is the type of energy that we're going to entertain now. Like, people going to be with the shits. There's going to be some shit talking. This is what happens when Donald Trump is the president. You get what I'm saying? Like, what's the line of what's appropriate changes. And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's the truth. When you put this right here, the line of what's appropriate then changes. And we have Saturn and Neptune going into Aries. We're gonna have Venus stationed in retrograde in Aries, and then eventually going into Pisces. So with all of this going on, and then Mercury will retrograde in Aries too this year. Mercury's retrograding in fire signs again this year. And so with this, there's gonna be some times this year where shit is just really aggressive, it seems like. And people, where it's just like, man, and that's what we've chosen. Like, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be a little bit more combative, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more confrontational here this next couple of years. This is what we're coming into. This is the energy that we have entertained now. We've set the stage for this already. It's funny, that's how astrology works out. But we actually set the stage for this as a people. You know what I'm saying? And so this is the energetic thing that we've come into. And, that's going to play a part on the world stage, because Saturn is not in Aries just for us or me or you. It's for the whole world. Saturn is not in, Neptune is not going to be in Aries just for me or you. It's for the whole world. And so we're just coming into that type of energy where people are going to be more with the shits, and there's a certain attitude that comes into this. We're shifting from a more feminine based outer planet energy or generational energy into more masculine energy, and to Aries and then Gemini specifically also. And I don't know why Uranus in Gemini is so conflicted, but it is historically. We've talked about this before. Uranus was last in Gemini during World War II. It was last in Gemini the Civil War before that. It was last in Gemini in the Revolutionary War before that. So this is a process that you see every time Uranus has been in Gemini. There's major world wars going on, or major wars. Even the United States Civil War, that's a major war. That changed the landscape of the world. The United States wouldn't be the power that it could be if there was a divided union. You get what I'm saying? And so we see this, and then you have all of this happening at once. And so it's just right here, we're having this tremendous shift in energy this year. It's funny that we're in the 9 vibration numerologically this year, because it's a year of endings. And so it's right now letting you be prepared, because Neptune and Saturn are going to go into Aries, and they'll dip back into Pisces, and then next year they really kick in. Next year, Uranus really be in Gemini. Next year, in 2026, that's when shit really gets or hits the fan. You hear me? That's for real, when it's like, okay, this shit is like a trip. Like, the world is going to be a completely different place energetically, which will change everything in the way people react and respond to things. And so this is something that's just happening in the next year or two, just like that. Tremendous energetic shifts. And so what we first see right off the rip is, in this 9 vibration, this is where you need to prepare yourself for this. This year is where you get a little taste, because it is a year of Mars, for the people that say, okay, Mars rules this year. And so if you want to say that, then you say this is one of those years where this shit gets active, and then it goes to the sun next. And so it's like, man, there's ego takes control. And so right now, with Jupiter being retrograde, this is the messiness that starts the shit. There's so much being said. There's so much shit going around. The shit is messy. It's chaotic, and there's not really a point to it. But when Jupiter stations direct here in a few weeks, that's when shit's gonna really get interesting, because that's when stuff is gonna really be being said, and that's where people are gonna need to pay attention. But now there's been so much bullshit put in the mix, you're gonna have to learn how to differentiate. And so I do think this is a very chaotic time that we have created for ourselves, but it's also something that was destined to happen. It's funny when free will plays into the script. That's a trip. Like, I want you to think about that. Free will just plays into the script. People say, oh, when you think about using astrology or you using these tools, sometimes you feel like you're eliminating free will, and you're not. It's just, it's a perfect way to explain why that free will played out in the way that it did, because nothing is consequential unless you are really trying to make something definitive. Krista Day said they've been buying all the toilet paper. See, that's what's wrong with y'all. We found out who doing it, y'all. Krista been buying all the toilet paper. See? Why when it's and we've seen this question asked so many times. Why when it is something that's coming up, is it people's first impulse to go buy up all the toilet paper? Like not all the food, like the first thing people do is go buy all the toilet paper. Krista, I'm just giving you a hard time. You leave because like don't leave, Krista. I appreciate the super chat, but don't leave for real. I'm giving you a hard time. You bought the toilet paper up. You talking about I didn't buy that much. Talking about I didn't buy that much. No Diddy. Hold on. Y'all, let's address this before y'all blow it. No Diddy. We're not even talking about that type of stuff. We're on that type of vibe. So you have to be thinking about that. For you to say, this dude looks like he keeps getting clapped. Your mind is on that. Like, why is your mind on dudes getting their cheeks clapped? Like, why are you even thinking about that shit? That's what you got to ask yourself, because we're not even talking about that. We're talking about something completely different. We're on a chill vibe. We're talking about astrology, and I'm letting y'all know what's going on. We share knowledge, but you have to ask yourself, like, why did your mind automatically go to that? That's something that you need to figure out with you. You heard me? But yeah, hold on. What is this? Oh, they got shit going on. They got messy shit going on. But yeah, you bought all the toilet paper. Yes, double A. Yes, double A. I actually gave y'all all the dates. I don't think you were here, but y'all should have been writing them down so you ain't got to go look them up for yourself, because last week, right before the New Year's, I think it was on Monday, I gave y'all dates for every astrological transit of 2025. And I sat here the whole time and nobody didn't appreciate shit. That's the Capricorn in me. There it is. Like I did all that motherfucking work and nobody didn't appreciate a motherfucking thing. But yeah. We doing it. Let's get to music. Let me turn the music back up though. This is now. Y'all crazy. I don't know why I'm trying to like that. Now, let's talk about Saturn. No, Jupiter is square to Saturn. But in talking about Jupiter being square to Saturn, let's look at Saturn first, so we can talk about Jupiter and Gemini being square to Saturn and Pisces. That way we understand both energies before we talk about the square between them. So what does Saturn and Pisces represent? Anxiety, fear, stress, delusion. It represents times of our life right here to where it feels like all of the usual coping mechanisms that we run to are not there, especially the unhealthy ones. The addiction, yeah, we can try drugs, but that shit becomes ominous. Once again, people's dying now. You can't just go fucking take drugs like you used to. You can smoke cannabis a little bit, but sometimes you fuck around with pens, you fuck around that shit, you be fucked up. There's been times I also have gotten something from a dispensary and I smoked it for a minute and I started getting lightheaded and shit because the chemicals they sprayed on it. You can immediately taste the chemicals and be like, nah, man, fuck this shit. Like, I'm not smoking that shit. You can be fucking just getting you a quick line at the bar, it'd be your last line. Now you dead in the motherfucking stall because you from somebody that gave you some fentanyl. You could be like my sister popping a perk on your way to work, and guess what? It'd be your last motherfucking ride because it was fentanyl. You could be a motherfucker thinking you finna shoot up some heroin, and you do as much as you used to do, but this time your body just can't take it. You slowed all the way down, and ain't nobody there to pick you up. They got Narcan in fucking vending machines with kids snacks now. You can buy fucking Narcan spray and fucking get that shit and spray it up somebody's nose. See, this is Saturn in Pisces. Like, this shit takes a whole different turn right here. Shit gets heavier. The shit you do to yourself, that shit has consequences. The shit that you've ignored for a long time, that shit starts to fuck with you. You say you've had just a little feeling for a long time of mistrust with somebody, but you've let that shit breed up inside of you. You've never figured out where it came from, but all of a sudden you've developed this picture of somebody as being something that they're not, because you yourself have trust issues. So instead of you identifying with your own trauma, you have started to put an unfair label on someone. Or you yourself could realize that one day that you've been pretending to be something you're not this whole time. And it's like, man, that shit right there, it hurts you because now you're lost in translation. You can have people who let fear take control like me. I had so much stuff going on. I had so much things in my life that I was worried about. I just let fear send me into a spiral. Me and my wife had a conversation about it yesterday. I just went down this and y'all saw me do it. Like, I started worrying about a legal issue. Then I worried so much I started not feeling good. I started having digestive issues. I started stressing about the digestive issues, thinking I was dying. I went from having the digestive issues, and then next thing you know, I've that weakened my immune system. I had throat issues, and then I have all this heavy energy so much that even though most of that was psychosomatic, I ended up giving myself a real hernia. I manifested a hernia. You really want to carry all this heavy energy with you? Guess what? Just doing nothing. We gonna give you something you really need to deal with, and it's gonna take some time because it's not an emergency. That's what's crazy. It's not like I popped it and then I could just go have surgery because it wasn't an emergency. It wasn't bothering me. It's not incarcerated or strangulated, and so it's something that I have to pay for unless it's an emergency. And so with that being the case, I have to just watch it and wait it. So it's just a little bit more stress, right? But you wanted this, right? You wanted the fear. You wanted to carry that heavy energy with you. That's what you wanted, right? You wanted something to be wrong, right? You can't run from it. You're right, Beats. But you can't run from it. That's a perfect description, Beats by Bless Zone Out Music. I'm so glad you learned it, my bro. But you can't run from it. That's the restriction. It's like usually with Pisces, you can escape it. You can ignore it. You can get high. You can run from it. Nah, motherfucker, you might die if you get high. Yeah, you can try, but you just might die. Nah, motherfucker, now you scared, you let that fear take control. Now we're gonna give you something that you can really worry about, cuz. Guess what? Now you have resentment. Now y'all really got a problem because now they can sense that you got a problem with them, even though they never had a problem with you in the first place. The problem was you thought they had a problem, but now they got a problem because they can sense that you got a problem, bitch. So we got a problem. You understand that? This is how shit works. When you ignore shit and you let the problems pile up and all of a sudden you can't get away from it, it feels like life is picking on you. It feels like, oh, my karma's come to get me. Oh, this is just karma for everything I've done bad in my life. No, bitch, you just been ignorant. You fucking scary. And now look what happens when you ignore shit. Now look what happens when your ass don't be realistic about your expectations about situations. Now your dreams are shattered. Now you fucking hurt and broke and disgusted because you couldn't keep it real with you. And so you have to find some type of way to keep hope and keeping it real with yourself. Being real isn't a limitation. It gives you the motherfucking rules to the game. You having to be real with yourself and you having to get away from all that stupid shit that you've done is emotional maturity. You got to find a way to deal with shit, motherfucker. You got to find some type of way to get inside of you and get away from all of those external motherfucking problems because a lot of that shit that you worried about ain't got nothing to do with you. You just picking up on what you got going on. You picking up on the mood of the moment, the temperature of the times. And hey, guess what? You're not the only one going through it. It's lots of people going through it. So as you're having compassion for them, have some compassion for you. All right? Because guess what? It's this way that it is right now. It's been a lot of people that have had a lagging ass 2 years. The last 2 years has been fucking horrible for a lot of people. And for me, it's been the worst 2 years of my life. But you know what? Nothing's happened. This has been the worst 2 years of my life, but nothing has happened. None of the shit I worried about has happened. I'm not dead. I'm not even sick. I have a hernia, but I'm not dying from that. I'm not even sick. Like, shit's crazy. I was coughing up blood and shit because I'm fucking always talking and I don't do stuff to take care of my voice. When I started drinking tea and taking care of my voice, I haven't had an issue with my throat as far as bleeding or pain for months because I started drinking herbal tea. I started taking care of my voice, and instead of me realizing I can't talk for 10 hours straight a day because I do readings and everything else that I do, and without it eventually taking a toll on me. And so it's just fucking common sense. But instead, I worked myself up, thought I was dying, started doing this, and it's like, no, you got to you're getting older. You have to do different things to take care of yourself. Like, you can't eat the way you're eating because your digestive system can't handle that. You can't stress yourself out because your body can't handle that. You can't be motherfucking drinking alcohol and shit because your body can't fucking handle that shit. You can't be fucking, like, with the weight I gained, you can't eat like you used to eat. You have to eat in moderation. You might have been able to get away with that when you were younger. You're 38 years old now. You can't just sit there and fucking eat everything and think you're not going to gain weight. Your ass will gain weight. It's like all these lessons I've learned with Saturn right there on my 6th house cusp. And so it's like there's just so much stuff that I've had to do to mature emotionally. I have to learn how to manage stress. I have to find my fear and realize I'm a fearful person. Being tough doesn't mean I'm not fearful. I've always been fearful. You understand? I'm fearful of losing people. You know, I'm fearful of getting close to people. I have fears of intimacy. Like, even with my family, because I found my mama dead when I was younger, and because of the situations that I've had, there's times where I won't even let myself get close to my own family members because I worry that they're going to die. I sit there and imagine what would happen if I woke up and one of my family or my kids or my wife was just dead one day. What am I going to do? The only reason that's there is because I found my mama dead in that same situation when I was little, and it took me that long to put two and two together and realize what the fuck was going on. You get what I'm saying? And so the fact that I found my mama dead like that, the fact that you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's like you're waiting for that shit to happen again. And life isn't like that. You understand? And so those fears that I have to deal with that fear. Because the fear is what got control of me. The fear is what fucked with my health. The fear is what made me have a horrible 2 years. It was funny, when Saturn was in my 5th house, I was sitting up there not living because I was worried about dying constantly. And it took my daughter, my child, my 5th house seed, my motherfucking baby to say, hey, Dad, she fucking, at that time she was 16. She's about to be 18 now in a few days. But she said, you so worried about dying, you're not even living, and there's nothing wrong with you. She's like, you got guilt. I don't know if it's because you saw your sister in that casket or because your mom, but you got guilt. And she's like, you got to let go of that shit. You're alive, and you know, you can't be worried about if you deserve to be alive or not. You need to enjoy living because you could die any day. You know what I'm saying? She just said you got to enjoy living because you could die any day. Like, and you worried about dying, and you ain't dead. So why are you worried about dying and you ain't dead? You need to be living because you're going to die. You need to deal with that inside of yourself. That's a part of maturity. You're going to die. And, you know, I think of all my friends and all the people, and she's like, you're going to die. Like, so you need to live. Why can't you get over that? Like, you need to get over yourself. You're missing people, like you're living in the same house. You punished it. I didn't sleep in the bed or show any affection to my wife for over a year. Not because I was mad at her, but because I was worried all the time. And that's another beautiful interpretation, double A. AA says Saturn in Pisces has been painful and eye-opening on what really matters. That's what's for me too, like stressing, like what really fucking matters. Like, for real. I've had to mature emotionally. Saturn was on my moon. It's just like, I've had so many fucking lessons learned. This shit has been profound. And it wasn't fun. But I'm so fucking strong after going through all of that shit. I'm so better after everything that I've experienced throughout this process with Saturn, doing what Saturn does. Like, man. But it's been fucked up. It's been the worst 2 years of my life. But funny as it is, it being the worst 2 years of my life, nothing bad happened but my feelings. I was worried and stressed myself out and thought I was gonna die, and I had a horrible time emotionally, and I made myself miserable, and I played victim with myself for 2 fucking years. You understand that? And I learned that I manifest a lot of my own issues because there's nothing to be scared of. What I'm scared of is inevitable. What the fuck you scared of? You understand? And like, at the end of the day, like, what's the point in that? And with my health shit, like, I'm gonna have to go to the fucking doctor more. Even though I hate it and I'm scared of doctors, I need to just go, because what the fuck is it gonna do if not? And so there's just those things with me, is learning how to get over yourself and learning how to confront things within yourself, and really just being able to mature emotionally, like I said, and just realizing how much as it is. Beats by Bless Zone Out Music said, does your kids' signs in your houses have an effect on your relationship with them? Yes, because there's synastry involved with y'all. So I would definitely say. But yeah, they got a lot of mess going on in my group. Ooh, they be getting that mess going early. Shout out to Star. But yeah, I've been going hard today, man. Hey, somebody ought to hit that motherfucking cash app that's pinned right there in the chat. For real. I've been taking hits back and forth. You have a blessed day also, Krista. Now, yeah, that's Saturn in Pisces. So Jupiter square to Saturn in Pisces. It's like, your brain is already doing too much, right? Now you're feeling too much. You're sensitive to everything. Not only is your brain doing too much, now you're sensitive to everything. So now the environment that you in is key. If you're not around the right type of energy, you're gonna be fucked up right now with Jupiter square Saturn. But I can also say it's like this is gonna be very non-productive, because you're going in circles. You know what I'm saying? You're so sensitive to everything. Your brain is nervous. You have anxiety emotionally. You have all of this stuff going on, and so it just gets in the way. But you can also take this shit, and if you can find some type of way to use it creatively, be patient with yourself. Use it creatively. Talk to somebody. Help yourself. Like, have those type of conversations with somebody. Talk about how you feel. This could be a really helpful time for you, but that's just not easy to do. Also, find some type of creative or artistic outlet for this. That would be perfect. You understand? Like, this will be where you can really convey emotion for real. This is Saturn in Pisces. You being able to write it down. You being able to speak about it. You being able to paint with it. Like, all of this stuff that you can take with this can be beautifully in helping you harness this in a productive way, instead of having this shit have you going in circles and make your life more complex and complicated than it has to be, or you destroy yourself with substances, which is a possibility. Oh, man. Don't drink, man. You can do what you want if you don't have issues, but I'm not an alcoholic because I don't like alcohol that much, and I'm not a big fan of alcohol. I like to drink a little bit, but I haven't drank in 2 years now. No, I haven't drank since May of 2023, so almost 2 years. I used to drink right here on live with y'all. I used to drink wine and everything. What's up, Tyrone? Cuz? You said you think that Pluto at 29 degrees wasn't for the weak. Maybe. I always said that was the anorexic anoretic. That's Capricorn. You got to be strong right there. Shit is hard. That shit was crucial. And it would square my nodes. Pluto during that time would square my north and my south node while I was in a nodal return. So I was looking at the astrology, and being an astrologer, I created this image that I was dying. You know, a lot of it wasn't just because the physical stuff I had going on, but me being an astrologer and me being so fucking caught up in the energy all the time and looking at it one way and not being able to look past that way. I just started looking at Pluto being square to my nodes, and while I was in that nodal return last year. And so I just started thinking, damn, look at that's the type of shit that people die from. You get what I'm saying? So I just started I was sending my chart to all types of astrology groups, to other astrologers, and I was like, hey man, y'all think I'm gonna die? And so it was just one of those times where I was really tripping, bro. What's up, Vanessa Marie? How you doing? We've been here for 3 hours already. What's up? Yeah, you late as fuck. Like, super late. What type of excuse you got? Don't lie to me. But we in this thing. But yeah. That's Saturn and Jupiter. Uranus is at 23 degrees of Taurus until the 30th of this month. And then it'll station direct and it'll start doing something else, right? So, as I've explained, what this is right now is like a law, right? Right now, because this is retrograded Taurus, this is like a stagnant moment. But I don't want y'all to get complacent or get comfortable. That would be foolish. All right, this is not stable times that we're in. This right here is just a stagnant moment. So what you have to do is find a secure place to operate from as far as a mindset goes. I'm not talking about a physical setting. I'm talking about a mindset. That way, when things get crazy and things get frustrating, you don't lose sight of what's really important. And you don't sacrifice your values. But in order for you to not sacrifice your values, you also have to assess where your values stand. You understand? That means taking inventory of who you are, where you stand, what you have to work with materially, who you are morally, what you're willing to sacrifice, what you find as valuable, what your values are, once again, and what you're willing to do to make money. All right? Because if you're stuck in one way of doing things, you're going to stay frustrated. This is where stubbornness is not going to pay off for you. All right? Uranus is actually in that fall mode in Taurus because Taurus is safe and stubborn and complacent and stable. Uranus don't like that shit. No, we want to shake things up. We want to make things crazy. We want things to change. And so finance is changing. The way that the world works as far as business goes has changed drastically since Uranus has been in Taurus. A lot of that was just because of technology, but also the pandemic changed things drastically. It just changed the nature of everything. And so after that, the way that things work is completely changed from this point forth. You know, a lot of the way that the old school businesses worked, they just couldn't flourish in the way that things are now. You have to be more convenient for people. That means you also have to be able to have ways that you can have people pay you that are not conventional. You have to have ways that you can deliver things to people. You have to have ways that you can work with other companies in order for y'all to work in unison for you to get your money. And so there are all types of stuff that you can do with that right here. So more than anything else, you just have to find your niche, and also understand even in that you have to be adaptable in that. Right? There's so many ways to make money. You have no excuse of being broke. We'll talk about that more when Uranus stations direct. But right now, you just need to figure out what you have to work with, where you stand, because things are going to get crazier. You know, you have to understand. Just here in the United States, and we've talked about this a little bit before. Here in a couple of weeks or like 10 days, Donald Trump will take office, right? And immediately, this is what every president does. It's not just Donald Trump, even though this is more prominent, because his main issue was to do something to bolster the economy or to do something that is going to create a better economy later on. And so he's going to pull whatever he feels like a chess move is. And so when a president takes office, they're going to sign a whole bunch of executive orders into place. And those are things that really have a chance to go push through, because right now he has the benefit of having Congress behind him and having the majority of whatever Supreme Court officials being on his side also. And so he actually is one of the most powerful presidents we've had in a long time. Just so we know that. You know, and every president doesn't have the same amount of power, because it depends on what the majority of Congress looks like. Depends on where Congress is and where it is as far as the judicial system also. But he comes in as in having a lot of those attorneys appointed by him or other Republicans. He comes in as having a Republican House of Representatives and Senate, and so he comes in as one of the more powerful presidents. And so when he pushes something through, he can really get his agenda moving. Whereas he's not like another president might have, where they face resistance. Now, what happens a lot of the times is a president will come in like this hot, and then in 4 years, the balance of power will change. And so he will get reelected, but Congress will shift. And so now you have a House of Representatives that is the majority of Democrats. And so when that happens, there's gonna be a lot of resistance, and a lot of what he pushes through is not gonna get pushed through. And so his power is greatly watered down. And so you just have to look, you have to really understand these type of things, power dynamics. I be teaching y'all so much shit that a lot of y'all don't know, but I'm trying to teach you real quick. Look, and so what happens is he comes in, he signs these executive orders into place. This is mean he places, in his eyes, what he has promised is to place tariffs on certain countries like China, like Russia, or a lot of the countries that have things that they are importing into the United States, right? And then he also is going, or he's going to ask for favors on export, that's going to raise the price of groceries, because we do have a lot of products that come from overseas, right? And so as much as people say, well, this is going to make groceries, no, at first it's going to raise groceries, but in his eyes, he's going to get it off the back end on taxes and on being able to cut tax cuts and to cut taxes. But what that ultimately does is helps rich people. All right. But either way, what it's going to shake up the economy, not just for the United States, but of the world. And also, having somebody come in like this is something that influences the market. When you have a president change and it goes from Joe Biden, who is viewed universally as inept, you have Donald Trump come in, who is a whole different dynamic energy. That's going to do something to the market. That affects things, period, just energetically. And so all of that coming into play here, that comes to play out. So when Uranus stations direct on the 30th, this is where you do see things get crazy real quick. Things get shaken up. And so, and it's just because we've had a shift of power and the agenda has changed. And the economy is what Trump won the election on. So that's going to have to be what his agenda is centered around for that initial burst: immigration and the economy, and the way that the immigration issue is influencing the economy, in his opinion. And so those are the two issues that Donald Trump really was able to win the election on. And for him to win the Hispanic vote, he had to do something to really say that, hey, okay, this is what we're going to do as far as the economy. And so he has to come in and do something that changes things economically. That can be a good thing or a bad thing, but it's going to shake things up regardless. And so you see what happens as soon as Uranus stations direct, because that's right around the same time. And so it just makes things a little bit more unstable, because we're not sure of how this is going to play out on the grand stage or in the grand scheme of things. And so, yeah. Learn a little something. Vanessa, you said you like it when I go hard like this, right? You don't want the script, right? Now, let's talk about Neptune. What does Neptune represent? Neptune is imagination and spirituality and all that stuff, and internalization and confusion and all that shit. Because we can't forget Neptune is a malefic. All right. I know we think about Neptune and you just think about that's because you're being delusional about what Neptune is. Neptune is a malefic. Yes, there's good things that come from all of it, but Neptune is a malefic. Saturn is a malefic. Fuck around and confuse yourself. Fuck around and lose motherfucking sight of what's real. You heard me? Now, when you have Neptune here, Neptune also represents the culture. Universally, when you see Neptune and what it means as far as the outer planets, Neptune is the culture, right? Uranus is unpredictability, instability, revolution. It's what's changing right there. Neptune represents the culture. And then what you see with Pluto, it represents the people, the generation. You have the Neptune in Pisces culture. You have the Pluto in Aquarius generation. You have the Pluto in Capricorn generation. You had the Neptune in Aquarius culture. You had the Neptune in Capricorn culture, which is what I was born in. You get what I'm saying? And so Neptune and Capricorn culture was the people that started charging for gas money and shit like that. Like, hold up, man. You can at least give me $2 or something. I'll give you a ride. You know what I mean? I'm not just doing shit out the kindness of my heart. I need something for me. That's that Neptune and Capricorn. You could do so much. Neptune and Capricorn, you know, in that culture, it was like a culture of where where drug dealers were idealized, and where it was like people wanted to be the kingpin. People wanted to run shit. People wanted to win. People wanted to make money. It's like, hey, this is capitalism, man. I'm about making money. Yeah, I got this gift. Yes, I'm an amazing astrologer and spiritualist and mystic, but I need to get paid for that, right? That's the culture I was born in. That's kind of how I can be. And I've had to check myself, like, nah, hey, you know what? I'm the best. I need to be getting paid like the best. And so when you're worried about that, you're getting away from the spiritual impact. That's where Neptune creates confusion for you in some instances. You know, it's in my third house, so I have all of these gifts, this gift of understanding and this gift of awareness, and I have the psychic gifts in a way, and the intuitiveness and the empathy and the musical gifts and all this shit. But a lot of times I never got what I could have gotten from it because I was too worried about what I was gonna get from it. You get what I'm saying? And then you have Neptune in Aquarius where like everything was theory. They didn't do nothing. There were so many theories. This is what the world, this is 2000 is going to do this, and we're going to do that, and there's going to be this, and there's going to be that. And the world has crazy stuff now. And like the other day, I was just thinking about self-driving cars and shit like that. Like, man, they really got that shit. But like, there was so much stuff that people were just theorizing everything. And there was so much theory, there wasn't a lot of practice. And a lot of ideas came, amazing ideas. And people could really have some insight. But it really took when we got into it to be something different. And Neptune and Pisces, this is where spirituality becomes a fad. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's doing all of this, but everybody's trying to make it into something that it's not. Everybody's trying to operate off projection and expectations. And now you have to fit what this description is. And now they got tests on there saying, what type of indigo child are you? What type of star seed are you? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, this is what happens is people get confused about what it really is. People get confused about what's really motherfucking important. That's Neptune. Pisces sometimes represents what's really important. That's why Venus does amazing in Pisces. But when that higher octave is there, Neptune, some people can get confused about what's important. Spirituality is such a fad now. People are worried about their business. They're forgetting that this is about the inner journey. This is, you know what I mean? Yes, if it's something that you have been blessed to be able to make money off of, that's fine. But never forget, this is about the inner journey. It's not about labels that we're putting it on. You know, it's funny when you see that meme and say, astrology, you mean birthday racism? Yeah, that shit's real because that's what they've turned it into. Everything is a projection. Everything is a title. Everything is a label. Everything is a stereotype. Instead of it being a tool of understanding and something that can really help, people are just use it now to discriminate and to separate and to divide and to confuse and to manipulate. And you know, this is the culture that we've created. Then you also have to look at what's real and what's right doesn't matter. What's important is what's popular and what's trending. You know, that's what we've established as a culture. You also see how trends are more important than anything else. What's trending? You know, it doesn't matter what you have going on, how special you are, what your talent is. It matters what's trending. You see the celebrities copying the common man because the common man is what creates the trends. Oh, you created a little dance to this song and now it's become a trend and now this has become the challenge. And now you have celebrities doing the challenge. You have the dude back in the day that started flossing. You have flossing on Fortnite and everything else. You people that do flossing everywhere. This motherfucker ain't made probably $10,000 off that shit. And he created one of the most biggest phenomenons, and it was just some small shit in forever, right? Everybody does it. Movies, celebrities doing it, like you see it everywhere, and it's just from a dude doing it. And so we see this. Shit's crazy, man. We live in a copycat culture. What's real don't even matter. Like real ain't real, so that shit don't even matter. We don't know what's real. People kind of realize that now. Like we don't even know what real is. We all have theories, and sometimes you have to have faith. But most of the time, the people that are truly intelligent have come to realize that we're not quite sure what reality is. We know what we are experiencing. That's the truth. Hold on, what's going on? But anyway, yeah. We on some real shit today. I love y'all. I just hope you know that. I love you. Now, Pluto. Pluto's at 1 degree of Aquarius. So for those of y'all that wanted a revolution, y'all want shit to get radical, here it is. It is radical. It's fucking weird. Like, you see all the fucking revelations that we've had and people don't even give a fuck. Like, they be like, we figured out a way to use vibration to kill cancer cells. So Big Pharma ain't never gonna let you get a hold of that shit. That shit ain't gonna do shit. We're pretty sure that the UFAs or UAPs are coming from in the ocean, and they're non-human. So this ain't the first time we heard that shit, right? But the truth is, like, people are waiting for things for shit to get even more crazy. It's like, and then us as a people also, like, we're realizing how powerful we are as a people because of technology. Like, we're connected with anybody in the world. Like, there's people all over the world in this chat right now. It's a beautiful thing. Like, man, we're connected everywhere. You can't hide from us, but also it's really messy right now because of that. At first, it's like really destructive. But also, in a way, through the destructiveness, we find ways for us to make it constructive. You know, with Pluto, there has to be death in order for there to be rebirth. There has to be things that are destroyed in order for them to be rebuilt better. And so, if this is Aquarius, the old way of doing things has to be done things so we can usher in new. We got to revolutionize. You know, even if you look back, the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, you know, this was not the first democracy of the United States, but it was the first time that they had this brand of democracy, that the way that the United States was formulated. You know, as far as the 3 branches of government and the Electoral College and all of those things. This was James Madison's idea that he made up out of a model that was created in Virginia. And so a lot of people don't know that. So yes, I do my research. Y'all better. I be teaching y'all some shit. I be talking about everything about life, but I really be giving y'all some gems, man. Like this is priceless knowledge. You heard me? But whatever's happening with the drones, with all of that shit, like we're just in some crazy times, man. And the world is a crazy place, and things are changing drastically. Technology's changing, people are changing, people's response to other people are changing, and at first it's gonna be destructive. But like I said, eventually things will get better over time, and it'll be something new will come from this. A new way of doing things, a new way of dressing things, a new way of governing, a new country, something, who knows? But there's something definitely new that comes from all of this. You know, that's the way that Aquarius works, and Pluto's gonna work through Aquarius in that way, is destroying all the old ways of doing things and that stuff that seems restrictive, and setting free a really invigorating approach to things. And you know, it's going to be electrifying. This is not going to be something that's going to be subtle. This is Aquarius. It's radical, so it's going to be weird. And so we've seen each time Pluto's been in Aquarius, the world gets crazy. We see weird stuff, you know, and it's only going to get weirder, because you need to have an open mind that, like, what you think this is, it ain't nothing like that. There's so much more than what you can even fathom. There's so much more to it. You understand? Like, a science fiction movie ain't got nothing on what the world really is. Jaski said, what happens when this transit is in your first house and 2 degrees from your ascendant, bro? The way you present yourself to the world changes drastically during that time. You know, just the way you carry yourself, the way you experience the world, and the way the world is going to get to experience you, probably go through a sea change. It's just like everything about you, and the way that you look, the way you carry yourself, the way that you think, it all changes. And really, it starts because of the way it's air. It starts because the way that you think changes. And so when you change the way that you think, a lot of the things in your life could start to change. I know that that's something that's a true process. Is once you start to think differently, things really start to change in your life, and you can really start to make some progress, or you can really start to regress. Just a second. So yeah. What's up, Miss Coast? That bitch right there be jamming. It's crazy. You know what? When you have Pisces placements, you got to be careful what you think and what you put into the mix, because you can manifest some shit. When you have 12th house and Pisces placements, you got to be careful. I was just thinking about that because I've been, like I said, I've been instigating and starting shit in my Facebook group just because it's fun and it's a shit posting group. But there's just one person that gets on my nerves that claims to be from NASA and shit, right? Or claims that they used to work. God damn, man, they're charging me for everything today, man. I'm so fucking... Hey, somebody needs to buy a reading for me. I need some of y'all to get some of these readings. If you haven't gotten a reading, if you fuck with me, I need you to come get a reading immediately. For real. Niggas in bad shape. Christmas got me in bad shape. I need to get some readings. For real, I need some money, for real. But I'm trying not to be worried about money, but I got Saturn in the 2nd house, and this shit's getting frustrating. Like, what the fuck? I'm sick of seeing charges hitting my card. Does anybody feel like that ever? Like, I'm so sick. Like, when you're already stressing about money, you ever have them days you stressing about money a little bit? Some of y'all don't ever have to stress about money, but I'm stressing about money a little bit, and then boom, 2 charges will hit my card. Like, what? Like, bitch, you gonna stress. Saturn in the 2nd house. You gonna stress. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm sitting here talking to y'all. I done had 2 charges hit my card. Like, man, I didn't know that shit was coming out today. like, hell nah, man. Like, fuck. Just killed my little old confidence. Like, I was feeling good. I was looking good, but as soon as that charge hit my card, I looked at myself and the boy, you don't look like $1 million. Probably 999,999 and 982. Because that $18 just came out your motherfucking card, and that shit hurt. And look, that ain't $1 million. You understand? You don't look like $1 million, man. Start realizing all the shit I can't afford all of a sudden. You can't afford new teeth. Them hair implants you've been thinking about, you got to put them on the back burner. If that $18 hit you like that, you got a lot of motherfucking financial growing you need to do, Bubba. I mean, for real, like, that $18 just came out of my account. Just feel like my dick shrunk 2 inches. Like, that shit was devastating to me. Then I got like Pluto's sextile to my Saturn, so it's like, I feel like Pluto's sextile to my Saturn is making me tough, but it's just like, bro, like, you gotta think outside of the box. Stop worrying about the money. Stop worrying about the money. But I'm worried about it. I'm worried about it. So I need some of y'all to get some of these services. You need to buy a reading immediately. Now, back to the motherfucking transits. Because we're almost done. We've been here for over 3 hours. We've been here for 192 minutes. I've been here since 7 o'clock in the motherfucking morning. Going hard than a bitch. You woke up to this, stroking. See, I got carried away again. I apologize. I apologize again. Damn, I forgot to take my medicine. Fuck it. All right, Chiron, 19 degrees Aries, direct. So guess what, man? With Chiron direct, look, with Chiron direct, hey, you know what the problem is. You got to address it now. When you see problems, you got to address them now. If not, that's on you, because now you allowing it. You allowing it, you accountable for that too. So, fuck all that shit. You don't allow anything to hinder your progress or your growth. Not even you. You can't get in your own way, because that's what you have a tendency to do with Chiron and Aries. You got to get out of your own way. The only way to get out of your own way is to be aware of your behaviors. Once you're aware of your behaviors, you have to address that shit. Because as you address it and you confront pieces of yourself, you find new pieces of yourself that are strong, and you end up being able to progress, and then you start to be proud of yourself for your growth. You heard me? Junior! No, Jaheem! Can't trust him. Jakari! You call all of them. You don't have to come on camera if you don't want to. Come here. Hold up. Where's your brothers? You ain't never got up? Ooh. Hey, 11, two of y'all. I don't know which two of y'all. Y'all gonna, or all three of y'all can if you want. Y'all at 11:30. Y'all need to figure out who's gonna take the dog for a walk. Two of y'all. Saya, you're gonna be one of the two. So one of the. Oh wait. And will one of y'all bring me that pill bottle with the purple top in there? And some water, a little bit of water. Thank you. But yeah. It's my little boys. Well, they're not so little anymore. They're 15 and 14 and 9. Y'all seen them grow up too, shit. Y'all remember when I used to be in the other room and they used to be creeping behind me and shit? Junior would be creeping behind me and shit. Thank you, sir. That's why Libras are awesome. All right, hold on, let me count the shots a second. Yeah, I haven't taken one. Gotta count and make sure I didn't take two. All right, we're good. That water. Kids might drop the ice cube or something. This motherfucker the water got a little aftertaste. This is why you can't trust Libras. They do little passive aggressive shit. Yeah, that water had a little aftertaste to it. I'm talking, oh, you don't trust Libras? I should have asked him to do shit. Fucking Gemini moons. Jaheem! Where'd you get this water from?
The thingy in the jug. The water from the jug.
Man, that shit been in there for a long time. You even gave me some stagnant water. Oh. Yeah, North Node going into my 6th. North Node been in my 6th. But I've been feeling healthier, stronger, you know what I'm saying? I've been able to last longer, all of that stuff. No, I don't want no more, baby. That's good. Just go pour it out. Thank you. Come here, Chief. Well, get the fuck out of here, then, Chief. What's up, Tiger Lily? What is the pattern of the North Node? How does it transit? It just moves in retrograde motion, but it's erratically. It doesn't. It's hard to pinpoint. It spends 18 months in each sign, though. The North Node, and so it has about an 18-month long transit, somewhere around 18 months, but it kind of it's somewhere around it differentiates, but it hovers around 18 months as a transit, and it moves retrograde, and so you see it go from 0 degrees Aries where it is now to 29 degrees Pisces. And so we're actually in a great reset. Interesting as it is, when we talk about the year of endings and we talk about this being a 9, you also think about it going from Aries to Pisces, and you have Saturn then moving from Pisces to Aries. And so you have so much going on from Pisces to Aries, this big shift from Pisces to Aries in so many ways and forms of fashions this year, that this does represent what Steve Judd calls the Great Reset. Like, this is a great reset button. Whatever happens right now, energetically, the universe is hitting the reset button on us here on humanity. No, it never moves forward. You can when it says it's not retrograde, that's because it caught it on the right around an eclipse a lot of the times, and so it seems like it's not. It's not always retrograde, but it's never really moving forward. Let's just put it like that. It's retrograde most of the time. The nodes are retrograde 99% of the time. But there are times where they're direct, but they're not moving though. They're just direct. But yeah. So the black moon Lilith is at 21 degrees of Libra. So that opposition between the two means it's hard to hold everybody else accountable because you're so worried, or to hold yourself accountable because you're so worried about everybody else's reaction to you. You're so caught up in other people that it's hard to just work on you and focus on your growth because you're worried about their reaction to your growth, and you're worried about what, you know, this and that. And so it's hard for you to be real. It's hard for you to be authentic because you're still trying to please, or you're trying to appease somebody. And sometimes it's not always about pleasing them. You don't want to give them what they want. You just want to appease them so that there's not a problem. And so they both can at times breed dishonesty, or make things more complicated than they have to be or should be. And so that's something that you'd have to address within yourself in those situations and that stuff. No, it was Taurus North Node first. It was Taurus and Scorpio, then it was Aries and Libra, now it's going to Pisces and Virgo. South Node in Virgo, North Node in Pisces. Shit's interesting. For real. Now, the nodes are at 0 degrees of Aries and Libra right now. So, I mean, we're about to have that nodal shift. You need to prepare for that. On January 11th, my daughter's birthday, when my daughter turns 18 years old. I love you, baby. She ain't gonna watch this. She might, but she says she catches me sometimes. But the nodes will shift into Pisces and Virgo. So we got about 6 more days. And so this right here, hey. Good luck. We're about to have a nodal shift on top of everything else. And so we're shifting to the North Node in Pisces. So you need to be forgiving. It's a time of endings. You need to be preparing, moving forward. You need to be spiritually processing things. You need to, finding faith inside of yourself. You need to be forgiving. Like, this is what you do. You dig? Because after that, you look at the process, it'll go to Aquarius. Because things will change. So right here, this is where you go inside. The universe is saying go inside. But we'll talk about that more when we go with that. Because I have to meditate on it some more before I really speak on it. Because this, the North Node is a big thing. It does represent a certain thing. And so for right now, at this 0 degrees of Aries, though, it's about you. You influence your reality. Your perception of things is incredibly important. As soon as you decide to take action, you can make things better. You can change the whole narrative at any point in time, as long as you are responsible for you and you stop worrying about what everybody else thinks about what you got going on. You just have to be action oriented. It ain't nothing to it but to do it. So just fucking do it. You heard me? Vanessa said, should we look at Neptune and Mercury for the next 18 months in relation to the North Node and South Node, see what they're doing? Well, Mercury's going to do everything in 18 months. Mercury moves that quick. It's going to retrograde and all that, but Mercury's going to do everything in 18 months. Neptune is just going to shift into Aries. And so, I mean, that's always perfectly logical to do when you're dealing with astrology, is correlate that to the ruling bodies. But I would also say that Mercury's going to do everything. As far as numerology, we're in a 7 vibration today. How do we get to the 7? I think we're in a 7. Yeah, we're in a 7 today. See, it's January 6th, 2025. So you have 1 plus 6 plus 9, because 2025 is a 9. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 5 is a 9. So 7 plus 9, 16. 1 plus 6, 7. So we have a 7 with the karmic debt 16 and a 6 connotation to it. So at home, right? This is a perfect time for you to get your household in order. And that doesn't always mean your literal household, but sometimes your family, right? And sometimes that means you need to address yourself in that mix of all of that, right? And with the karmic debt 16, you have to love people the right way, treat people right. You know, with the 6 being involved, that means this is about love and commitment and nurturing and being there for people. And so with the 7, you know, you need to, and it being Capricorn season, you need to realize why you do it again. Why you do it. It's not just because it's your responsibility. It's because you love these people. It's because this is what's strong. This is what it is for you. And then also in your life, you have to understand that you are worthy of being loved, and you need to be appreciated, and you need to feel nurtured, and you need to feel protected, and all of that shit too. How you feel is important too. Loving the right way doesn't always mean you expressing it. It also means you need to receive it. All right? So yeah, that's where we at with that. I appreciate everybody's love and support. We might be here for 30 more minutes and then I gotta go. That's 3 hours. I'm gonna stretch it to 4 hours because I came so early, but that's as long as I can stream today. I'll be back on Wednesday with just a question and answer session. I'll be here. I'll open up. I probably won't touch on all the transits. I might tell y'all what's going on real quick, but I'm gonna open the floor for questions as soon as we come. That's what we do on Wednesdays. We haven't done it in a while, so I just want to be able to share my gift with y'all, answer any questions that anybody may have about astrology or numerology or anything else. On Thursday, we'll drop our video for the week. As far as I'll be recording tomorrow the numerology video, and then on Friday we'll come with the top 5, and we'll be back again next week. I don't usually come on the weekends anymore because that's when I spend time with my family. And I have to have some time for me. Does the 7th house represent your second born child? I've heard that, but I don't know if I agree with it. It can, I guess, if you want it to. It's not mine. Maybe for a woman it's different. Let me think. Doesn't play out for my wife either. So I mean I don't want to discredit something that any astrologer has told you, but that's just not something that I myself subscribe to. You heard? I don't know when I started saying you heard. But yeah, we've been here. I've been about as long as I can be. So, anything we need to talk about before we go? If not, I'm gonna dip. We've been here for 3.5 hours, 209 minutes. I mean, Mars retrograde in Cancer will affect somebody either way. I mean, if they're okay, they're okay. It might affect their attitude, might affect how they respond to things, but I don't think it'll necessarily like hurt them. But yeah. Aw, she loves us in the tribe. Does anybody have anything we need to talk about? Speak now or forever hold your peace, because we finna go. It's hard for me to turn off because I'm looking at the camera, looking at me. I'm like, damn, bro, you look good. Like, I be like this all day, but I really am like, yeah. It's hard for me to do. Like, then I feel like I'm wasting this outfit. You'll be having Mars retrograde in the Cancer full moon in your 8th house. Help. No. Let that freak off the leash. I'm just feeling it. But no. I just think that with those transits, with that coming up right there, things are going to be more passionate and emotional, and things are going to hit deeper, which makes you respond more, what's the word I'm looking for? Viscerally. Johnny Walker, I enjoyed you. I enjoyed you. Oh, you got Venus square and Pluto in Aquarius? I have Pluto square Pluto going on right now. But, I mean, lots of people have Pluto square Pluto. As part of your maturation process. It's part of growing up. It's part of your midlife identity crisis. It's like, am I going to die? I might die because I don't know how I can go on the way I was going on before. And you can't go on the way you were going on before. That's why you change. It's what Pluto wants you to do. And it's kind of hard, especially with those fixed signs. It's like it's hard to do. You resist it, you resist it, you resist it. And then it's like, boom, you're forced to do it. And when you're forced to do it, it's like, oh, I needed to change. And now it's better. But that stubbornness of that fixed energy is a motherfucker, man. So, relationship dynamic between an Aquarius moon in the 2nd house person and a Cancer moon in the 2nd house person wouldn't be that great. I mean, there has to be other stuff that would make it a lot better. Those two are in conjunct to each other, and Cancer and Aquarius are two of those energies that can be okay, but really, like, the Cancer needs more than the Aquarius can provide emotionally. And so that can just be a problem right there. You know, for emotional security, especially with the 2nd house, the Aquarius moon needs freedom. They need room, space. The Cancer moon person needs, you know, reassurance. And so they're just right there where that can ultimately, then my hat, I hate when my hat does that. That can ultimately just have all types of issues in and of itself. What's Chiron transit the 1st house? You realizing who you are again. You figuring out what you know what you're about. You healing some wounds as far as self-image issues and things like that. You know, you realizing understanding who you really are is not always about understanding your limitations. It's also realizing your strengths. So yeah, all of that. Libra moon, mom, Aquarius moon, daughter. How that sound? Good. I think those two actions are good. The Libra moon mom can help the Aries moon daughter in situations because the Libra moon mom is not taking it personal. The Libra moon mom can see things objectively. The Libra moon mom can put herself in the Aries moon shoes And so that's something that really helps as far as a mom. If it was the other way around, it might have been a different dynamic. But the Libra moon mom is usually there for a reason with that right there specifically, to provide balance and harmony and calmness and objectivity for that child. So that sounds like something that was destined. But yeah. She said, I don't know, that's me and my mama. I mean, your mama didn't do what she was supposed to do then. As an Aries moon daughter, like, your mom probably frustrates you. You're looking at it from a daughter's perspective. I'm looking at that from a parent's perspective and from an astrologer's perspective. You're looking at that from a personalized Aries moon perspective. And, you know, there's other stuff at play. You know, you said Libra moon mom, Aries moon daughter, but I mean, there's other stuff that's going to play in their personality. Yeah, you bad as hell, Aries, Ebony. You got an Aries moon in the first house, you bad as hell. From a little kid, you was bad, you got into shit. Like, you was bad in the motherfucker. See, I already know. You was not you might have been honest. Look how bad, I mean, I bet you was not easy to like. Shit, all for an Aries moon in the first house. Like, little impulsive ass, badass, little aggravated ass, little savage ass little kid. Like, hell nah. Sit down somewhere. For real, independent ass little kid. The Libra moon wants somebody to be dependent on them. They want somebody to do it with them. And you're going to do everything by yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like Libra moons, they want you to need them a little bit. But you want to do everything by yourself. I love Aries moons. I'm just talking shit. You said, nah, she didn't have patience for you. I mean, were you hard to have patience for? I mean, like I said, there's other stuff at play. Or maybe, you know, like I said, there might be other things at play. I'm not, you gave me one placement, right? And you want me to judge off of that. But now that you say that, your Aries moon might have developed your independence because she didn't want to help you, because she didn't do anything, because she was dependent on somebody else, or she was too caught up in her relationship. So there's other things with Libra moons also. Like, I'm not just looking at one thing. You know what I'm saying? But I can only judge off what you said with that right there. And so I said what the Libra moon could provide for an Aries moon child. Now, on the other end of that, from an Aries moon child's perspective, you had to develop independence because it seems like you had an indifferent mother at times. And so an indifferent or somebody who was distracted otherwise. So there can be other situations to look at that, but I would need to know the whole chart and to know the function and the condition of everything that's going on between y'all. So it's not just one thing. Yeah, see, Tina Claire Marie said her mama was vacant. Should are all air signs indifferent? I wouldn't say indifferent. But yeah, see? Indifferent. I knew I was right, so motherless children make the best mom sometimes. You said, do I like guys as well? Not sexually, no. But much love to everyone who does. Like, we don't, that doesn't matter here. I have an earring in both ears. What the hell does that have to do with anything? This ain't 1983. I remember they used to say that when I was young. If you wear an earring in your right ear, that means shut up. You should get your stupid, immature ass out of the goddamn chat. Somebody please block Free Luigi. What a fucking moron. Now let me answer this. Hold on. Juno conjunct North Node in Capricorn in the 9th house. I mean, you're just on your journey, what you need. And people can look at Juno and say, that's a soulmate. Well, Juno kind of is, but it's also what you need. It's what's good for you, right? It's not always just a person. It's an energy. Sometimes a person, there can be a person who's representative of that energy or somebody who embodies it or something like that. But Juno, in that instance, when it's conjuncture North Node in the 9th house in Capricorn, you need somebody that's helping you mature and helping you, you know, especially spiritually, wise up from experiences, and somebody who can teach you how to do things better. And so that's right there is about getting better, and somebody that's not going to hold your hand. Somebody's going to tell you what it is and keep it real with you, and somebody that's going to help you discipline yourself. Also, it's about somebody who helps you become more disciplined and mature in that process. Shut up. Show me all some morons, man. But yeah, man. Hey, we're finna go. I appreciate everybody's love and support. If you're interested in any astrological readings whatsoever, don't ever get at me in my comments. Get at me in my email, which is mr.turner1300@gmail.com. And I need some business right now, so I work out some deals. So you need to get at me immediately because I need to, you know what I'm saying? I just need to feel more confident about my bank account. But let me answer this for Ebony, and then I'm about to go. And I offer all types of readings. You just got to get at me. I'll send you a price list with the list of my services that I offer, and you can pick from there. But Ebony says she's all up in my 7th house: Moon, Venus, Mercury, and Lilith. Your Lilith exactly conjunct her North Node. Your Pluto conjunct her Neptune. She has Saturn on her ascendant. Are any of those a factor? All of them probably are. Say if any of them are, yeah, all of them probably have things that influence y'all's relationship with each other, and probably with the North Node stuff, y'all have karmic connections with each other, and reasons why you're here is probably a dance y'all have been doing with each other for lifetimes after lifetimes. You know, I don't know what I believe, but there are some people who believe that if you are into reincarnation, like if you talk to Phil Quinn, who's a great psychic in his own way. So if y'all ever on YouTube, or he might be on Facebook too, check out Phil Quinn, medium. He's a medium. He thinks he's American, but he's also Irish. He's a gay guy. But that doesn't matter. Like, his gift is what's profound. All right, and so listen to him and his perspective on that, and listen to him talk about us reincarnating into the same groups, into the same family groups. And so that's something that's really helpful. Hey, I appreciate the love, Nick Dalton, Nichelle. Hey, y'all. What y'all really need to do, though, is join the tribal council. That ain't but $5 a month. Show some real support through that way. You understand? It's like joining the Patreon, but you're joining that, and the more we get, then we can do some exclusive members only stuff. I'm trying to membership drive that. Do I need to have a fucking subathon like motherfucking Kai? So I sit in here all day, 24 hours a day, buck naked, fuck on camera, do everything. Like, come on, man. I need to bring a fucking horse in here. A goat. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Join the Tribal Council. That's the membership here. It's $5 a month. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Yeah. Join my OnlyFans. That's where I'll be taking this off, and yeah, that's when I do the real astrology. $5 ain't gonna hurt your wallet. It ain't gonna hurt my wallet. It's gonna be okay though, either way. Have a great day, Vanessa. I've been here since 7 o'clock in the morning. Vanessa, it's probably what, 1 o'clock there where you at? I know you in Canada. You with the Canadians. Look, digital dust typed it again. I think we heard you the first time, brother. Yeah, but I'm gonna go spend the rest of my day with my kids. I'll be recording tomorrow. If y'all need me, I'll be around. Y'all come get a reading from me. That would be great. Come get you a consultation. We can look at your chart. For anybody watching this right now, I'll do $69 for the consultation. We can talk about anything you want to talk about for an hour. Anything astrology. We can look up anything. We can compare charts for you and another motherfucker. You got 6 niggas. You trying to see which one is the best. We can look at all of them and do it. But that's only for today and tomorrow. So if you see this today, say I want to get that deal I saw. The $69 consultations. Y'all get at me for that. We'll do that. Swoop, swap, swap, swap. I love you. Only hood niggas say swap, 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 because that's what you do on the block. You like that. That's associated with selling crack cocaine. So y'all know, I hit him with that. I'm out.